Hello, hello, people. How are you doing? I'm calling you Ho Bobo. Maybe it was more like Ho, like hola over there, Bobo. Turn that down. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if the sound level's okay. What ho, good sirrah? So, we are getting ready to raise little Zerfina. Alter Ego Female Edition. Is she going to be like the pop star up top? Or is she going to be like the librarian in the middle? I don't know. That librarian looks like they lead a pretty boring life. Oh, you have an idea. Brilliant idea. What's that? Let me know. The brilliant idea. It looks like I got my microphone in a really good position for once. I don't know how this happened, how it's so different from normal, but as long as the sound is good, I'm glad. Ooh, that is a good idea. Okay, let's go ahead and add a little bit of text to the screen. So we go add text. Call this how to vote. Okay, so select font. Our font will be, of course, Zerfont, the official font of Zerfall Let's Plays. Well, do you know what? We got all this brown coloring around the screen that the C64 was so fond of having borders of, and we might as well fill that up with something. So let's see here. To vote. Simply say the number in chat that I gotta put break in there. Can also whisper Robo Zerf if you want to keep credit. And then we can just grab this and move it down here. Maybe give it font that's centered instead. How do I do that? Ah, there's a scroll down. Very good. Alignment. Center, vertical alignment. Center, although that doesn't really matter too much. Very good. Oh, do you know what? What the heck is going on there? That's supposed to be... No, that's that. That's that. Yeah, okay. It's making sense so far. What the heck is going on there? Oh, that's the joystick thing. Okay, so my joystick's not going to show up this time. Unfortunately, I don't have the browser source set up properly for that, but it doesn't matter too much in this game. This game is not a game of joysticks. It's a game of choices and mistakes. What choices and mistakes will chat make today? Very good question. Yes, they should be for this. You know, if you're playing like a pretty actiony game, though, it's interesting to see what they're trying to put on. You're going to go put the kettle on. All right, Bobo. We'll try not to make too many choices before you return. However, we are going to give people a little bit of a recap as to what's going on. So, we are playing this game as Zerfina, or rather, chat is playing this game as Zerfina. You can make choices in polls. Where is my controller? It's behind my laptop. This is what we got to get here. Oh, no, I continued. We don't want to continue yet. First, we want a recap of our stats. So, before we do any of that, load this snapshot back up. All right. So, We're going to display our status, then ask again. So what's going on in the world of Zerfina? Well, Zerfina is age 13. She has no occupation, and her relationship status is single so far. She's about to enter into the teenage years, which can be an awkward time. Hopefully not too awkward for her or for chat. We're not a very calm person. Our calmness is only 38. It's on its way up from what it used to be. However, keep in mind that when an event happens that requires calmness, we will likely fail the roll. Our confidence is a high 99, almost 100%. So anything that requires confidence will pass with flying colors. Expressiveness is also very high at 84, and so are our familial ties. We are not a very gentle person. If something calls for us to be gentle, we might not be able to help ourselves and act like a jerk. However, we are very happy, and so we shouldn't give into depression very easily. Our intelligence is 96, so we should be a pretty smart person. We should be able to handle ourselves in an intelligence role. Our physical is only 49, which is better than it's been, but we need to get it up above 50 if possible so that if we get into any fight or flight situations, we can handle both things. Socially, we're doing quite well with a score of 89, so we're quite well liked. Our thoughtfulness is 80, which is pretty good. Our trustworthiness is 64. It could be higher, but it saved us a couple times where we said, I swear, Mom, she put the lipstick in my purse, which did happen, and she believed us. Vocation is at 50% because we don't have a job yet. We didn't make it to the early job part of being a preteen because chat was so enamored with taking the side paths. Return to the game here. We'll go ahead and hit continue because it's going to ask me to put in a new disc. And I'll have to swap that flop. Let's get in disc 2A, which is label side up, disc 2. Yeah, it is a classic mistake, you know? You spend too much time on the side paths and you don't get to the finish line. Perhaps. By the way, Lethal, thanks for the host and welcome to the stream. And welcome to Adolescence. What? Bean is mocking your ritualistic method you use for making tea? I thought making tea, half of the making of tea, was the ritual aspect of it. Welcome to Adolescence. 4 be the things I am wiser to know. Idleness, sorrow, a friend, and a foe. 4 be the things I'd be better without. Love, curiosity, freckles, and doubt. Dorothy Parker. Enough rope. 1927. Inventory. ST 1-2. Well, I mean, they don't need to be in order. Although, do you put the milk in before the tea or the tea before the milk? Because apparently that alters the flavor. All right, folks. We'll have one thing to follow and then branching paths galore in this game of life. We also have some new stuff that we'll try every once in a while. There is doing stuff in high school, doing stuff as a job, going on an adventure, and shaking hands. I believe this is social events. It's a little more complicated now because there's more to do. And of course, they changed the border of our screen so that it's harder to read the text on how to vote. So let me go ahead and change that real quick before we get started so that nobody gets confused. We'll just change this font to black. It wasn't even white, it was just off-white. Easy to read black. Although, you know, it could be C64 green. Or blue, but we'll stick with this for now. So, we will get to our first event here, and then every so often we'll try to remember to do an adventure, a high school, a job, or a handshake. What is the first day of school like for us now that we're in high school? It's 10 minutes until the bell rings for gym. Mrs. Black, otherwise known as Orca, it can be such a pain with her calisthenics. Everyone is going to the mall after school. The last thing you want to do is sweat like a horse. No one will go near you. Imagine taking your shoes off in the shoe store and knocking out everyone in the place. Gross. This is going to take some quick thinking. How do we want to handle the grody-ness of calisthenics with Miss Black, the Orca? So, as a little recap on how this voting system works, I'm going to put poll start and type in a number. We have 2 moods we can choose from. The poll is open. You may now type in 1 or 2 into the chat, or you may whisper it to the Robo-Zerf, and he will keep your vote a secret. He will keep it safe and not tell it to anybody, but it will still count. So we're going to be honest or creative. It's hard to be honest and avoid going to gym class. And I see that some people are already taking advantage of the secret ballot. Now the one thing, and Lethal, maybe you can keep this in the back of your mind as you play, that I don't have going for me here is that the poll will not end. Oh, we need an at before RoboZerf. Are you sure you need the at? Whisper RoboZerf. Shoot. No, you don't need the at symbol when you whisper RoboZerf. It just makes it easier to type. I'll put it in the description just in case, though. The poll will end, but it will not end unless somebody is talking. It will wait until the next time someone talks before it decides to say, hey, the poll ended. Let me just change this how to vote real quick. Yeah, I'm sure if you actually saw my code, you would know why that's the issue. It's because I put all my if statements in the part that also parses the messages. So, but it works. So that's the important thing for now. All right, so when I type in results, we'll get the results. The winner is option 1 with 2 votes. So we are going to be in an honest mood. And here's the question. Are we going to go to the gym honestly, or are we going to somehow try to avoid the gym honestly? I don't know that there's an honest way to avoid the gym. The game may throw us for a loop if we try that. However, this may just up our off stat. Actually, I'll check the stats afterwards if that is what actually happens, because it will let us know if that's what happened. Our honesty was about 65. Bobo, thanks for the host. Going up to 1 viewers. So the trick that I am doing to trigger the end of the poll is, after I know it's been the 30 seconds, I just say something sneaky to the RoboZerf, and he will say, oh, somebody just chatted at me. I should run this algorithm. Let's check the results. And with 2 votes, we're going to go to gym class. Chat is being quite Jiminy Cricketish so far. As soon as you walk into the gym floor, you begin to sweat. It won't be long before people start looking at you and passing the word that you have BO. You smell like a Whopper. How are we going to handle this? We're trying to be honest. We're trying to think about it. So, let's start a new poll. Are we going to try not to do too much exercise, or are we going to take a shower after gym class? One of these seems a little more sensible. Absolutely, Lethal. And perhaps more people will be on board with that than not. Practical action, use some damn deodorant. And listen, ladies don't sweat, they just glisten. So, if you're doing it right, it won't really matter. They glow absolutely right. Let's grab the results here. The winner is option 2. So let's go ahead and take that shower after gym class. No, then they would sparkle. Glistening is different from sparkling. Of course, you realize there are no hair dryers or curling irons in the gym locker. Do you still want to take a shower? Hopefully there are some mirrors so we can tell if any of these ladies that are glistening are vampires. Do you know what? I should have taken out that little bit of code at the end. The numbers at the end of the vote thing are kind of a timestamp, because at the time that I first created this, I thought that the reason why it was getting mad at me for the Zerf bot talking too much was because all of the messages were pretty much the same during my testing. So I was like, I'll put a little bit. I'll put the last 4 numbers in the seconds that are going on right now. But it's not really needed now. Let's check out the results. Peep the results. Winner is option 1 with 2 votes. Gonna get all cleaned up. Your desire for cleanliness is admirable. You step under the shower and turn on the faucet. 3 drops trickle out, and only 1 actually touches you. So, how do you want to handle this? Do you want to turn the handle some more, or do you want to forget about it? Hey, maybe the school doesn't have the budget for showers right now. It's entirely possible. Jeez, you know what? I don't even know what type of neighborhood we live in, so it's hard to say exactly what's causing this. It could be that our school doesn't have the budget, but we're going to turn the handle some more. A stream of icicles runs right down your back, chilling you to the bone. Your skin and lips turn bright blue. You want to get out of there as soon as possible, so you quickly search for the soap. Oh, you always gotta know where the soap is before you start. There's a small speck of soap that would barely clean a flea. Discouraged, you step out of the shower and begin to dry off. Just as you're about to walk back to your locker, a big slimy cockroach calls out and walks right by you. So, let's find out what happened here. Let's look at our stats. This seems like we did all the right things and the game punished us for it. Stop being so sensible, everyone. Gross, but you're still clean. All right, so we're still single. We still have no occupation. Our calmness is still 38. Our gentleness, I think, is the same. Our trustworthiness has gone up by 5 points. So there you go. We did get something out of it. 13 and in high school already. Yep. Kind of weird. All right, folks. So, first things first. Well, obviously I'm the realist. But what we're going to do here is take a poll. And this is interesting because I know that the left path is actually the dead-end path, and it's the side quest. So, vote 1 for going to the right and following the main branch. Vote 2 for the side quest that results in some sort of physicality check. Go ahead and place your votes now while I take a sip of this tea. Remember, 2 is following the pointer right now. Ooh, I think chat's made up their mind already. This tea that I've got today is a custom blend of 2 fancy teas from David's Tea. Because I wanted to have some caffeinated tea, but I also wanted it to taste like ginger, so I just went crazy. Oh, and Bobo's tea's just arrived as well. All right, so option 2 is the winner. So we will be following the side quest all the way to fruition before continuing on with the main story. So far, there's just 6 voices. Eventually, she'll be going super crazy by the end of high school, I bet. With at least 7. You are at the drugstore purchasing some feminine articles. You are about to bring them up to the cash register when you notice that Mike Bardley, Barty, is the cashier. Ooh, Mike Barty. I'm going to pause my playback here because apparently my Chrome playback froze, and I'd rather not have it keep refreshing in the background. So Mike Barty is the cashier. How do we feel about this? Mike Barty could be a hunk. I don't know enough about him to make up my mind. But you guys can decide how you feel about Mike Barty and him being the thing. Are you embarrassed by buying these feminine products, or are you just normal? You know, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Everybody goes through it. Boys your age won't understand what's going on. But if they're embarrassed by it, you might as well let them have the bad moods and not you. Although you might have some bad moods anyways. regardless of how normal you think it feels, there will be days that you do not feel normal. And that's normal too. Let's go ahead and peep the results here. It looks like pretty much everybody voted for feeling normal. So we can bring them up to the register or avoid going to the register. If you feel normal, I feel like avoiding going to the register is a bit of a silly thing to do. But it's entirely up to you, Chad. Yeah, they're just like wild animals, you know? Or spiders. The only reason why they bite you is because they're scared. And let's face it, Zerfina lives with me in moderately climated Ontario. There aren't any spiders that are going to kill you. There's not much to worry about. All right, option 1 is the winner with 4 of the votes. Let's bring them up to the register. Mike sees you and gives you a big hello. While he's packing your stuff, he throws in 2 packs of gum from behind the register and smiles. He didn't even seem to pay attention to what he was ringing up. Ah, I see. Playing it sly paid off. Oh, well, you know what? There are black widows around here, but they're pretty rare to come across. And as far as I know, we don't have brown recluses. And a black widow bite isn't as deadly as it seems, especially if you live in the city. The next day in school, Ron Johnson walks by you in the hall and whispers, "Hey, it's that irritable time of the month, isn't it? Sometimes guys can be such morons." So, we probably got the best outcome, but still, we had to deal with some shenanigans. I mean, the further north you go, the less there are things that will kill you and more environmental things that will kill you. A friend... Oh, do you know what there really is, though? This is the spider to watch out for. If you're ever in South America, there is a spider that can give you... You know all those warnings? If you get an erection for more than 4 hours, go to the hospital. There is a spider that can give you that. And if you don't go to the hospital, you might lose your junk. Worst spider ever. I mean, how do you evolve that? I evolved a poison that makes humans have forever boners. There's a possibility you could die too, but I mean, there's obviously one worse scenario there. A friend of yours at school has gotten pregnant at 13 and has decided to get married at 13. The whole town is buzzing about it as if it was an awful scandal at 13. Your mother has been gossiping about it night and day with her nosy friends like they were 13. They could be an older friend. You're absolutely right. They might be 14. Every once in a while, she tells someone on the phone, "If that were my daughter, I'd lock her up until she was 25 before I ever let her out on a date again." Your friend is frightened and embarrassed. Ah, but back in this day, Bobo, MTV still played music. Yeah, the Brazilian wandering spider. Ugh, don't get bit by that. One day, you receive a phone call from your friend. She tells you that her boyfriend will be quitting high school and going to work full-time. They'll be married in 3 weeks. She wants to know whether you would consider being a bridesmaid at her wedding. How do you feel about this, chat? This is an important part in your friend's life, but it's an important part of your life too. Oh, and there's some dissension in the ranks this time. Not everybody wants to do the same thing or feel the same way. And you know what? It's perfectly natural to feel a little embarrassed and still be there for your friend. But it's also a great honor to be the bridesmaid. I'm liking the secret votes coming in. Remember, folks, if you want to keep your vote secret, all you have to do is whisper it at RoboZerf, and he will take that vote, fold it up in a nice, neat little paper, slide it under the door, and then go to the other side of the door, take that paper, read it again, and add it to the results. But sorry, Bobo, you don't get to get the results. Only the owner of the channel does. The winner with 2 votes is option 2. You're not completely powerless. You could change the game, but it would be embarrassing for me. So we are thoroughly embarrassed, but how are we going to proceed? Are we going to still agree to be her bridesmaid, or are we going to decline the invitation? It looks like people are on board so far with accepting to be the bridesmaid, which is good. I'm proud of you. Your mom might be spreading rumors about this poor girl on the phone with her gossipy friends, but Papa Zerf knows she needs all the help she can get right now. Don't worry, you don't have to write a best man speech. You have to write a bridesmaid speech. They're far easier to do because you don't have to make fun of the groom. So we're going to agree to be her bridesmaid. Oh, do you know what? It's not the hardest thing to do. There's a few rules about it you can find online, but it's really just you tell a story that's mildly entertaining and slightly embarrassing to the groom while being 100% not embarrassing or inappropriate for the bride. Then you compliment the bride. Then you say the groom's a really good guy too. And then you talk about how great they're going to be together. The end. And then you say the end at the end and crumple up your speech and shoot it into the crowd. Your friend senses your discomfort. 2 days later, she calls you and says that she has decided not to have any bridesmaid. Thank you anyways. She hangs up the phone quickly, trying not to cry. Jeez. Well, you guys tried. Yes, whoever catches the speech has to crumpled up speech has to do the next speech, and they better be ready for it because they got 2 minutes to prepare. Ooh, this episode contains a subject of a sexual nature. Hit run, stop to exit now. So we're going to go ahead with this. If it gets too saucy, I'm going to change the screen to 18 plus mode, but it really depends on how this one goes. Oh no, penises. Your mom calls you in for a talk about something that she says is very, very important. She thinks it might be a good time to go for a checkup with a gynecologist, a doctor who specializes in women. Hey there, Arthresh. How's it going? Welcome to the stream, and welcome to the consciousness of Zerfina. She is many, and she is you. How do we feel about going to see a gynecologist for the first time? Are we afraid or comfortable? We could comfortably not go for the exam. I'm sure you'd be very comfortable staying at home. Oh, there's some stream lag for you, eh? Hopefully it's not too bad. You may need to refresh every once in a while. I do know that they earlier had like 60, 70,000 people watching one channel, which is, I think, a new record for, maybe not, but there was a lot. Going on. Option A matches tab 2 and so on. Yeah, they do that sometimes. Trying to trick you. All right, the poll has ended. Let's peep the results. The results are in, and I can't see them on the screen. There we go. The winner is option 2 with 4 votes. We feel comfortable about ourselves in this situation. Are we going to go for an exam? Number 1. Or number 2, don't go for an exam. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a ordeal. I'll tell you, I'm glad that I'm still under 40 when I go to see the doctor. The exit poll. Yes, the exit poll is 100% so far. Everyone that's made their vote public has said 1. But let's see what the true results are. 4 people have voted for 1. It's not a runoff, according to RoboZerf. So we're going to go for an exam. On the way over, your mom explains to you, it's a little embarrassing at first, But he really is a gentle doctor. You dwell for a moment on the word he and realize that a man is going to see and mess around with all of your most intimate parts. How do you feel about this? Do you wish to change your mind and tell her you don't want to see a man doctor, or go anyways? Either one is a legitimate answer. Some women do not feel comfortable with a man doctor down in their ghibli bits, which is fair enough. Some women are perfectly fine with it. Your mom doesn't seem to have much advice about it, other than saying that she goes to this doctor too. And so, Lethal's going with 2, as he thinks mom says it's okay. Now, one important thing to know, Lethal, is that it doesn't check if you said the number 2 anywhere in your comment. It just checks if you said a number. So make sure you just say only the number by itself when you're voting. I'm sure we could have it set up to do that, but I don't know that I want to have it like that, so that as people are saying things, like there's only one right answer, and then they accidentally vote for one. I wouldn't really want that to happen to them. But this result, the results are in, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. The option 2 is the winner. Now, everyone didn't vote for the same thing, which is good. I like when that happens. So we are going to go anyways. We were a little bit indecisive, but not completely. The gynecologist is a very sweet old man. Most of the time you spend naked is with a nurse who helps prepare you for the exam. The doctor is kind enough to warm up the instruments before he examines you. When the examination begins, he shows you various different parts of your reproductive system and teaches you how to give yourself a breast examination, which he says is very important. He asks your mom if she would be kind enough to leave the room. When he does, he asks whether you are sexually active and if you are using birth control. He then asks if you would like more information about birth control. The old leave the room, mom. This is private matters. How do we feel about birth control? Do we want to get more information or say no? I've never played through the female version of this game, so I don't know what happens if you decide not to use birth control, but I'd imagine that there's a chance you may become 16 and pregnant on TLC. And ain't nobody want to end up on a TLC show. That's true, Bobo. It is only information. You don't have to commit to anything right away. All right, let's check the results. And it looks like option 1 is the winner with 3 votes. Let's go ahead and get more information. When the two of you are alone, the doctor gives you the facts on both male and female birth control methods and tells you to call him if you would like to talk to him more about it. You probably don't realize it now, but he happens to be an excellent doctor. So, I don't know, maybe for some reason this game decides that lady doctors aren't as good, or at least the lady doctor you end up at. So we seem to have made the right decision with the doctor we're going to end up going with. Let's head on down to the main path and do some school type things. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reward myself for letting you choose a side path by doing a high school event. Well, it really depends on how warm your doctor's hands are. Cold hands, warm heart, though. So if he's a good doctor, he probably has cold hands. Bring on down to main path. Wow, this doctor's so excellent that even Zed Power wishes he had a gynecologist. You haven't been in high school for very long, and you have gotten lost in the halls. You ask another older student if she knows where your class is. Because your social skills are so good, you have no trouble gaining sympathy and getting directions to your class. The end. I don't know what that did, but it did something. Yeah, a bunch of these are just stat checks. Can you get the right thing? Most of our stats are very high. We only have a couple that we'd fail things on. A few people got a little wild playing spin the bottle at a friend's house yesterday. As a result, your neck looks like it was stung by a pack of wild hornets. As you walk out of the bathroom, your mom inquires about the curious-looking marks. How do you feel? Do you feel, number 1, crafty, Number 2 embarrassed, or number 3 out of it. So our first number 3 style poll. Vote 1 to 3 in the chat, or whisper it to RoboZerf, and he will take the gentle whispers in his ear and account for them in his poll. It was bees, I swear, ma'am. So, people so far are feeling a little bit of everything. Zerfina doesn't know exactly which way to go. But it does not look like we're headed for a tie. The poll has ended. Let's peep the results. And it looks like the winner is option 1 with 3 votes. We're a little embarrassed. But how are we going to handle this embarrassment? Are we going to 1, give an excuse, or 2, tell the truth? Now, right now we have a pretty good truthfulness stat. Telling the truth will make our stat go up more, and so far so good with our parents appreciating us telling the truth. And as Papa Zerf, I would appreciate it if my daughter told me the truth about things. How about you, Jaxors? Oh, she didn't hear me. She just kept walking. Too far away. Well, I don't know. Sometimes dads are a little more understanding in these things. I know my dad once told me, after I was well and truly done high school and college, he said, you know, if you had managed to get a girl pregnant in high school or college, up front, he said, up front to you, I would have told you I was disappointed and we told you to be more careful and blah, 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 blah. But when I got to work, I would have been like, that's my boy. All right. It did work. You made me say results. And the winner is option 2 with 6 votes. Everyone seems to want to be honest with mom. Family relations are good. Your truthfulness makes them even better. Mom knows where you got the marks and might have even been embarrassed when she asked. Even though she trusts you, she feels the responsibility of keeping you out of trouble as much as possible. These talks will probably never prevent you from doing anything you really want to do, but they can make you think twice about some things. Oh, yeah! Yep, that was a win. So you can see that we are getting a lot of our stats checked right now, and we have some pretty good... Oh, we're already 14. All that side path got us a little older in life. Our calmness has gone up to 50, so we're less likely to lose a calmness check. Confidence and expressiveness and familial ties are all super high, but our gentleness is still quite low. Our happiness is still very high. Our physical has gone up above 50 because we didn't skip gym class. And because we don't have a job or vocation stuck at 50. So we're not going to fail most of the roles, but there's still a chance. I mean, it depends on how difficult the role it is, right? Some of them will require 90s, some of them less. Some only require like a 30. She is a rough and tumble type of girl. Let's see. This should be another social event. You are in one of your ultra cool moods. While cruising through the house, you bump your foot on a piece of furniture and let a swear word sneak out. Your mom calls from the other room and she says, "Did you say what I thought you said?" Shitcock. I wish it was a what do you call it? Which swear word did you use option. All right, so we have 3 possible moods. 1, truthful. 2, less than truthful. Or 3, too cool to care. That's exactly how women act too cool. They stroke their hair back and then they rub their mustache. I will say, if you decide you are too cool to care, do not try to tell her what you did and apologize, because that's not too cool to care. Where's my tea at? I gotta sip my tea before we peep these results. So the winner is option 1. Once again, we're going to be truthful. Will mom be as understanding this time? So, are we going to tell her what we did and apologize, tell her you didn't, or tell her you did, and so what? The choice is yours. There's only one way you should be treating your mom, though. Like Mr. T said, she's your mother. There is no other like mother. So treat her right. Treat her right. And then the background dancers thing. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Mr. T's Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool has got a lot of great life advice out there. Yes, our familial ties and our trustworthiness are pretty high. We probably won't get in too much trouble. But you know what? Sometimes, it doesn't matter. As a parent, you still have to say, yeah, I understand why you did that, but it still wasn't the right thing to do. You're in trouble. So we'll see what happens. The poll has ended. The results are in with 2 votes each. There was a tie between 1 and 3. Beep, 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 ping pong. The winner is option 3. Sorry, your little random RoboZerf tiebreaker made you do something a little naughty. So what? She says. Her eyes seem to glow for a while. And then she gets frighteningly calm. She speaks almost in a whisper. So what? She says softly. I'll have to remember that phrase when you ask me to drive you somewhere or buy you a new blouse or cook you dinner. The list extends well into the twilight of the evening. That's your mom's gentle way of telling you you were a little shit. All right. Moving on up. This is the social one. Those other ones were familial ties. I should remember. The crest means family. It's your family crest. A little shit. You heard me, Lethal. I said it, and so what? A couple of your friends have given someone to purchase a bottle of very cheap wine. They are excited about the idea of getting drunk. You are in the basement of a friend's house. How do you feel about this bottle of wine? Well, you know what, Bobo? You know they don't understand what you're saying for the first little bit. You gotta have a little bit of fun. I actually have a friend who taught his son to call people wankers when he prompts them to do so. It's pretty funny. He doesn't use it. More of a Scotchman. Yeah, but you don't start as a Scotchman. If you try to get drunk on your Scotch the first time you get drunk, you're probably not going to like Scotch for the rest of your life. Toll Panzer, welcome to the stream.
You may have something a little classier than a TV set called a monitor.
Yeah, those monitors are pretty classy, aren't they? In case you forget, the little refresher. If you wish to vote on these polls, just say 1 or 2 in chat or whisper them to RoboZerf. And he will consider your whisper and eventually decide to include it in the poll. Let's check the results. The winner is option 2 with 3 votes. It was very close to a tie. We're a little afraid. Oh man, I want to press one of these buttons. I can do it without the timers. Where is it?
Hey, you know, I really am scared. Don't say anything stupid, you jerk.
All right, we got 3 options here. 1, share the wine. 2, walk away. Or 3, act like you're drinking the wine, but don't. Yeah, I smoked, but I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
You can use the old Bill Clinton defense. The one about marijuana, not the one about the other things. Your timers are glitched. Weird. You broke it. It's still working on my screen. It's weird. I think they've been having a little bit of trouble with the API today. So sometimes when people press stuff, if it is constantly pressing stuff when you don't expect it to, perhaps refresh the stream, because there might be something where something was clicked and dragged off of and it thinks you're pressing it over and over again. I wouldn't want you to lose sparks for no reason. All right, let's check the results. Do not get drunk on cheap alcohol. The winner is option 2 with 3 of the votes. That one was spread out a little bit, but not too much. Let's walk away like a scaredy cat. We didn't excitedly walk away.
Hello! I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash. I love gold. And I'll give you cash because I'm not
I forgot I gotta put this somewhere where I can actually see who's pressing the buttons. Forgot I had that option. Failure to conform to peer pressure makes you emotionally stronger, but pulls you outside of this peer group. Your social status suffers, but sometimes that's the price you pay for being an independent, free-thinking person. All right, let's check our stats out and see how they were affected by that. Because we had very, very high.
I'll give you cash.
Oh, geez.
I'll give you cash. I love
Yep,
gold.
you could play
and I'll
that
give you cash because
nearly 70 times. Oh, a little less than that.
Oh, yeah.
So, our calmness has gone down a little.
Haha, you chicken. I'm totally okay
Everyone
with
has
it.
so much money now. Everyone's got tons of sparks now. So there's going to be a lot more buttons pressing than used to be. But our calmness has gone down a little bit. Our gentleness is about the same. Our happiness has gone down a bit. Our social has gone down quite a bit. We were in the 90s, and now we're in the 70s. I'll have to claw that back up a little bit. Our trustworthiness has changed slightly too. All right, let's head over here and hit up a heart styles. One of the older kids in school takes you aside and offers you a quick way to make money. Dealing drugs. Nothing too heavy or dangerous, according to him. All you would have to do is deal some pot and a few lewds. No one will ever suspect a girl. So, how do you guys feel about selling pot and a few lewds? Let's go ahead and start up a poll. Are you exposed?
What, like this?
Are you interested or not interested? 1 is interested, 2 is not interested. You know, you can make a lot of money selling drugs. You can also make a lot of time being arrested. This is the 80s. The war on drugs is at its peak. We're close to it. And nobody likes drugs. They're so bad. Bobo says just say no. Yes, Reagan is in office. Watch out. The DARE program is happening. You could get stricken with lots of time. But we're also under 18. So maybe we should break the law while we can still get it on our juvie record instead. The winner is option 2 with 3 votes. We're not interested. Now, I have to ask this question too, although I feel like if you're not interested and you tell him you will do it, that's a bit of a doesn't make sense option. But you're welcome to try.
Haha, you chicken. I'm totally okay with it.
Toad Panzer's totally okay with trying to sell the drugs. And even more people are against selling the drugs than being interested in selling the drugs. I mean, we always could have been interested and still refused to do it. I mean, you can be interested in all sorts of stuff and not do it. But the results are in, and with 4 of the votes, we're going to refuse to sell the drugs. He tells you that you have just passed up the opportunity to make some easy money. He is caught dealing 3 weeks later, but nothing much happens to him. 3 months after that, you read he was jailed in South America during a drug-related incident. That went south fast for him. There's a lot of social events about to happen. I think we're going to go over to the job thing after this, though, before we do the side path and see if we can't start making a little money. You and your friends have all gone to the shore for a beach party. It's late at night. One of the friends has a suggestion. He says, "Let's go skinny dipping." How do you feel about skinny dipping? Do you feel shy or uninhibited? Ooh, you got to be careful with this. You know, it just takes one person playing a mean prank, and suddenly you're stuck in the water with no clothes. But if everybody's doing it, it could be fun. But if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Maybe, because you wouldn't have any friends left. I'm sending mixed signals here for poor Zerfina. But the poll has ended. The results are in. And there's a tie between 1 and 2. Ooh, and Zerfina's inner monologue after the result of her mixed emotions has come to rest on shy. How are we going to handle this, though? Number 1, are we going to take off our clothes shyly? 2, we're going to wait for everyone else to take off their clothes. Or 3, keep your clothes on. I will say from the boys' experience in this game, if you wait for everybody else, you get into the water later, and you get out of the water later. So be very careful with your choices. They may come back to bite you. Just like a crab on the beach when you're naked. They wouldn't bite you, it would pinch you. Your choices may come back to pinch you. Oh, and you guys... That's not only 2 of you. Some people are whispering their votes and keeping them secret. If you whisper to RoboZerf, you can tell him your secret innermost desires, and he'll include them in the poll results. Let's check the results.
Haha, you chicken. I'm totally
Ooh, there's a
okay with it.
tie. Beep, beep, beep. Ping pong. The winner is option 3. We're going to keep our clothes on. That might be the better of the 2 options, because, like I said, if you wait to take your clothes off, you end up in the water later, you end up out of the water later, and normally someone steals your clothes. And you know what? It's unladylike. So good for you. Like most daring fantasies that come up during adolescence, everyone has big ideas, but few follow through on them.
pose.
What, like this?
But few follow through on them. Several people actually go skinny dipping, but almost everyone keeps his or her clothes on. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and peep this hammer and birdhouse. See what it does. You are too young to take on the responsibilities of a job just yet. Concentrate on your schoolwork. All right. Time for one more. Social sphere will be in the crapper. Will it? Most people didn't do it. I'll give you a little checkout on it right now. It didn't go down very much. We're still in the 70s. It's summer vacation time. Well, there you go. Because you have excellent social skills, you have an exciting summer with your friends, traveling, romancing, and probably getting into a bit of trouble. Maybe time to go on an adventure instead then, because how are we going to do high school stuff in the middle of summer vacation? Hey, you're watching a Canadian stream. Spell words with a U. It makes sense to me. You decide, you and a bunch of friends decide that it might be a good idea to get a permanent eyebrow tattoo. What a great idea. How are we going to do this? Are we going to stop, collaborate, and listen, or are we going to continue? Ooh, most people don't seem to want to get these eyebrow tattoos. But some people do. Oh, man. Not in the 80s, eh? See? Some people step from the shadows to be a savior for poor Zerfina. To make you look weird. You'll be like Uncle Leo. That episode of Seinfeld where everyone thinks he's mad after they draw the eyebrows on. It would likely make you look weird. The option is number 1 with 4 votes.
Hey, you know, I really am scared. Don't say anything stupid, you jerk.
We'll try for another adventure since that one was such a lame one. Mike Lewis is a guy you have had a crush on for a very long time. A friend of him tells you that Mike has told him that all he wants to do is go out with you and be with you. There's only one problem. Mike has a girlfriend. And you are currently seeing someone. What? We're single! It says so
Sexy
on our damn
pose.
thing.
What, like this?
So, how are you guys going to handle this? Don't vote too fast. Toll Panzer, get your vote in there. There you go. So, ooh. And live in harmony, yeah. Yeah, you are too fast. Too fast, too furious. Zerfina's going to jump the gun at some point in time. But apparently you're not furious enough to swing the vote, as more people are trying to prevent this from happening. The poll has ended. The results are in. And Zerfina is going to stop.
Haha, you chicken.
Oh,
I'm
jeez.
totally okay with
Toll
it.
Panzer just keeps egging you guys on with this chicken routine. All right, we'll come back to the adventures in a little bit. First off, do you guys want to do this side path social event, or do you want to just continue on up? Remember, if you do too many side path things, you do not get to the end of the game. Well, you get to the end of the game, but you don't get to the end of the main story path, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. So 1, go straight up. 2, hang a left. Take the side path. What did come first, the chicken or the vote? Interesting thing. They're both going to be these social things. These little side ones, though, are sometimes the more interesting ones. The ones that have a little bit more... I mean, it is supposed to be my baby girl, but you know what? My baby girl's her own girl. She can make up her mind about things. I can be disappointed in her for it, but she can make up her own mind about things. Gotta whisper in here to Zerfbot and get him to end the poll. The winner with 3 votes is option 2. We're going to take this little side path. You are on the school bus on a class field trip, getting cozy with your newest beau. They're not bays yet. That's not cool. Are we feeling amorous but discreet? Amorous but indiscreet? Or not amorous? How do you feel about this newest beau? Sexy pose. Ooh, I told
What,
Panzer
like
wants to
this?
do sexy poses. People seem to be choosing to live a little with this one. I don't think this is supposed to take place in the Deep South. It's supposed to be wherever you live. But yes, it is a little weird to say beau. Even in the 80s, people didn't say beau that often. At least not outside of regions where they say those things often. Let's check the results. And with 4 of the votes, people want to be amorous but discreet. How are you going to handle being discreet? Are you going to, 1,
Oh, so you like nurses?
begin a makeout session?
Well, okay.
2, just cuddle. Or 3, have an intellectual discussion about your amorousness. Oh, Toll Panzer likes to live excitingly. You can discreetly make out. Sorry, your secret ballot has already been counted, and everybody saw what it was. We're feeling very amorous but discreet. Let's talk about the penis. Looks like the results are in. And people want to just cuddle. Cuddling on the bus.
Hello! I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash. I love gold, and I'll give you cash because I'm the cash man. I'll give you money for your gold. Oh, yeah.
So, Toll Panzer wants to give you cash for your votes. He wants you to get a little crazy with your votes. How romantic. You are a sensitive person. Your boyfriend is equally sensitive. Social sphere and several positive emotional indicators rise. Good job, folks. You're a healthy individual. All right. Give you money for your Golden Boy DVDs. Let's cuddle and think about whether we think Germany will ever unify. Do you know what? I remember where I was when I found out that the wall was coming down. I was at a cottage with my grandparents, and it was on the CBC News that night. I never watched the news except for when we were at the cottage with my grandparents because it was the only TV show we really watched when we were at the cottage because my grandparents controlled the TV, and we weren't allowed to watch much of it. Oh, that's interesting. That would have been a great event to be part of, you know? A friend of yours has told you that on the walls of one of the stalls in the boys' bathroom, Kirby Ross has written a poem about you and various sex acts that you are willing to perform. How are you going to handle this? Going to 1. Sneak into the bathroom after school and remove it. 2. Tell the principal. Or 3. Ignore the whole thing and hope nobody notices. Destroy him, someone. Play that timers are glitched. Oh, timers are glitched, eh?
Apologize to Ken. In hell.
That's what we'll have to do to that guy. Yeah, it's weird. There's a couple timers that do seem to glitch. For me, right now I seem to be allowed to press the future, classy monitor, or sexy pose. And when I pressed destroy him, nothing happened. Interesting. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect this just in case we can get it back to the way it should be.
Destroy him, my robot.
There you go. So, what are the results? Oh, geez, I wasn't even watching the photos that happened. It's a surprise to everybody, secret to everybody. Tiebreaker between 2 and 3. Beep, 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 ping pong. We're going to tell the principal. The principal doesn't want to be bothered by you right now, but when you recite the poem, he turns very red. Kirby gets suspended for a week. How did we know what the poem was?
Chicken. I'm totally okay with it.
Hey, you know what? That kid had it coming. All right, so we're going to go through this physical event. Then we're going to try a handshake. And then you guys are going to decide which way we're going to go. This is a path that leads to maybe getting a job. This is a path that leads to a carefree lifestyle. But you know what? The more money you have, the better sort of... Oh, she has clarified. She could see the poem in her mind's eye. Your best friend has asked to borrow an outfit that you like a lot and look really good in. How do you feel about your friends? Are you a generous person? Or are you a possessive person?
Destroy him, my robot.
You know, it's important to... Your money man rating went up. It's important to be generous with your friends if you can and help them out when you can. But at the same time, you don't necessarily want to lose your favorite item. Although it's hard to be possessive and lend it to her. Jeez. No wonder why I've seen so many people's soundboards become increasingly expensive. After this generous making it rain that Mixer did after it stopped being Beam, lots of people have stuff. The poll has ended. Results are in. The winner is option 1 with 5 votes. We're going to feel generous. Unless it's our gay cross-dressing friend. Then we're perfectly fine lending it, eh? Let's go ahead and start another poll. Are we going to lend it to her or tell her you can't lend it to her? It'd be hard to feel generous and tell her you can't lend it to her. Sexy pose.
What, like this?
Yeah. Do you know what? I saw somebody that originally had one that was 100,000 points that ended their stream. And then even before the change happened, well before, they changed it to 400,000 because I think somebody actually had enough points to press the button. And they were like, crap, I don't want this happening very often. So it changed to 400,000 and eventually just disappeared. All right, let's check the results. And they tell us the winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. We're going to lend it to her. Everybody wanted to lend. That's 100% of the votes this time. Sometimes people know.
I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash. I love gold,
Oh,
and
are
I'll
we
give
gonna
you cash.
loan shark her on this thread?
because I'm the cash man. I'll give you money for your gold. Oh, yeah.
She thanks you for it and tells you you're a true blue friend. That night when you run into her, she's wearing it. You can't believe how good it looks on her. As a matter of fact, you could never get it to look that
Sexy
good on you in a
pose.
billion years.
What, like this?
Damn, girl. You look fly. Damn, you're a sexy bitch. And then your mom says from the other room, she's a sexy what? So, how are we going to handle this? 3 options. Option 1, force out a compliment. Option 2, say nothing. Or option 3, sincerely give her a compliment. Oh, people are quick to vote. Boom, boom, boom.
Sexy
We want to
pose.
let her know.
What, like this?
We want to let her know. She's a sexy so what, ma'am? We want to let her know she's a sexy so what. Yeah, everybody's voting 3 here. All the secret votes are coming in. Everyone in here is willing to be nice. Nice. Let's get the results. And yep, with 5 votes, we'll be going to give her a sincere compliment. Option 3. And you know what? It's probably doing a stat check. And you know what? You guys aren't very gentle. Even though you want to be sincere, your gentleness characteristic suggests that you can't really give a compliment like this with a straight face. She appreciates the comment and feels badly that she inadvertently made you upset. Nice try, folks. You should have forced it out, and maybe your toughness would have let you handle it. When she returns it, you can tell her to keep it or take it back. Now, we are a very generous person, so I wouldn't be surprised if you can actually get her to let her keep it. And then perhaps she will feel better about the whole thing. Or maybe she'll be like, damn, I feel even worse now because she doesn't even want it back. Maybe you can bust her ghosts. Bustin' does make me feel good. Oh, and there's a mixed bag of votes this time. Maybe your mom will wonder why you seem to keep losing outfits. So far, we've only lost 1, Bobo. It's not too crazy. It's not too crazy. Where are my whispers at? There they are. Let's check the results. And with 4 of the votes, option 1 takes it. That's not all the votes. It's most of them, though. She says, I would love to, but to tell you the truth, I didn't really like the way it looked on me. You really looked special in it. The tone of her voice says she really means it. What a friend. Aw. No, you look good. Oh, yes, indeed. All right, so we're trying a handshake. What do handshakes give us? Oh, that's right. Handshaking is how you date people. So, this is up to you guys. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. So, are we going to meet someone? That's them. And wait a second before you vote. Let me read them off. 1 will be meet someone. 2, break off with someone, which we can't do. 3, go on a date or have an experience with your partner. 4, do you know what? There's only one option here. You can only meet somebody. Never mind. Hey there, Zelfie. How's it going? Zeffy? I throw L's into people's names all the time for some reason. Everybody's waving it up. There's a storm going on. So let's continue. Here's where we get to make a choice. Where would you like to try to meet somebody? In your home, in school, or outside of school, / away from the home? 3 options. Get in there and make your voice known inside of little Zerfina's head. And as the little reminder, if you so choose,
Oh,
you can...
so you like nurses? Well,
That's outside
okay.
of the school for sure. You can take your vote, fold it up in a tiny piece of paper, burn that paper, breathe in the smoke, and whisper it out into @RoboZerf. And he will still count your vote, even though it's been whispered at him and not made public. Or you can just type in /W RoboZerf. You don't have to go through the whole ritual, but it does work too. Instructions on clear acquired black lung. All right, the results are in. Let's get them. The winner is option 2 with 3 of the votes. We're going to try to meet someone at school. Whom would you like to meet? Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of J names. Good thing we made this poll flexible. So, are we going to meet John, Jim, Mark, Peter, Brian, Jeff, Josh, or Frank? This is one where I'm probably expecting a tie because there are a lot of options. Although, a couple of people have voted for the same thing. It's going to change things up quite a bit. The coalitions may have the most power. Interesting indeed. The exit poll is showing that number 4 you would expect to be the winner. But the poll has ended. Bobo is on team not Josh. The results are in, and the winner is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brian is the lucky fella that chat has decided to go with. With 3 of the votes, there were a lot of secret messages going out to Brian. You have decided to meet with Brian. His characteristics are described as the following. He's moderately trustworthy. He's not very gentle. He's moderately calm. He's moderately happy. He's moderately confident. He is very good looking. Ooh, good looks, low confidence, or moderate confidence? There's my chance. You meet Brian in biology class.
Hello! I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash.
And offer him
I love
cash
gold,
for his
and I'll
gold.
give you cash because
Super average. Yeah, you know what? He is actually pretty similar. And he has a great intro. You meet Brian in biology class, and after talking with one
Sexy
another for a
pose.
while, you
What,
take
like
on
this?
a sexy pose. Give him the wink and the gun. And giving each other time to get a good first impression. You talk about going out. Finally, the big moment comes when he finally asks you for a date. He's a traditional boy, and you're a traditional girl that wants to be asked. And you accept. So, just before we go on this split here, we're going to go on a date. We shouldn't have to pay. We're the lady. Or we could break it off with him, but you guys are going on a date. I'll let you decide later what type of things you want to do with Brian. So, this life sim has turned into a dating sim. A little bit. There's a new girl in school. Her name is Ginger Clark. With an E. She's perky, busty, blah, bleach blonde. Who wears very red lipstick almost all the time. 2 weeks after she arrives at school, she's dated every eligible guy and even some of the ineligible guys. A friend informs you that yesterday Ginger asked Brian to help her study. How do you feel about this? One, two, three, four, five, yeah. Are we angry, depressed, anxious, insanely jealous? No big deal. Go ahead and place your vote now about how Zerfina would feel in this situation, or how you feel. And try not to vote with.
Hey, you know, I really am
I'm
scared.
just kind of scared about how this might
Don't say
go.
anything stupid, you jerk.
Scared and anxious. The thirst is nothing to make a big deal about. The poll has ended. How do we feel? With 4 of the votes, we feel like it's no big deal. Now, here's the thing. Stat chat time. How confident are we? What's that? You say we're very confident? Hopefully the game agrees. I guess you figure that if Brian is going to fool around, that's his problem. As it turns out, he remains faithful to you. You must be a very confident person, and we are. We passed the stat check. Good job, folks. All right, so back to the vote here. We have a poll of 2. Are we going to go straight up. That's number one. Number one is straight. Number two, the curvy path. The side quest to get a job. Ooh, people like the side quests.
Hello! I'll give you cash.
People.
I'll give you cash.
Like
I
cash.
love gold, and I'll give you cash because I'm the cash man. I'll give you money for your gold. Oh yeah!
That's a very appropriate song in this situation because we could become. You love having sparks. We could. More knowledge is important. That's always a job, but we could become a loan shark, gold seller, buyer. Let's check the results out. The winner is option 2 with 3 of the votes. It was a split vote. This is a familial event. Early in the evening, just around supper time, a friend's mother appears mysteriously at the door and asks to speak to your mom. From another room, you hear the woman say that you have been a bad influence on her daughter and that your mom should really try harder to raise you, in single air quotes, the right way.
Haha, you chicken.
Oh, hell
I'm
no, your
totally
mom
okay with
says.
it.
My daughter's a good girl. Her complaints, by the way, are totally unjustified. First, you barely know her daughter. And second, she is the biggest tramp in town. Without your help or anyone else's. How do you feel about this situation? How are we going to handle it? Now, look at the actions before you decide your mood, because you can give this woman a piece of your mind. You can wait until she leaves and then have a talk with your mom, or do nothing. I don't know why we would feel guilty if it's not something we should do. Don't feel guilty about something somebody else has pushed at you when it's not your fault. That's Papa Zerf's advice. But
You may have something a little classier than a TV set called a monitor.
you might have something classier, like a monitor. If you want to act more classy, be calm. You can give a person a piece of your mind while being calm. However, I don't always trust the game to do that. Sometimes we're like, oh, if you're going to give her a piece of your mind, you got to be angry. No, you can, Yeah, and we're not very gentle people. Although this might be your chance to become more gentle. If you so choose, you could stay calm and just talk to your mom about it. A very gentle result. The poll has ended. The winner is option 3 with 5 of the votes. We're calm. How are we handling our calmness? Number 1, giving this woman a piece of our mind. Calmly. Number 2, waiting until she leaves, then having a talk with mom. Or number 3, doing nothing. I don't think doing nothing is the best. Give her a piece of your mind in the crotch. Yeah, we couldn't compliment a friend. How can we chew out a stranger? Well, we can't compliment a friend because we're not calm. So you could easily chew out a stranger by raging out. Get that Zerf rage going. It's a very common thing on the internet. Zerfall is very well, all of the Zerfs are known very well for having very rage out moments and being the least calm Let's Players of all. Let's check the results. The winner is option 2 with 4 of the votes.
Haha, you chicken. I'm totally okay with it.
Yeah, Tollpanzer was totally okay with giving them a piece of mind. You are confident that this woman is not being totally accurate. You guess that your mom won't believe a word of what she's saying. Naturally, she doesn't. You chose the most mature set of responses. Aw, little Zerfina's growing up to be a mature young lady. Let's see what sort of vocational event we have now because of this. Enlightenment indeed. These kids are too damn smart. On the back of an old matchbook cover, you see an offer which promises the possibility of a free art scholarship if you can draw Winnie, a cartoon figure on the inside flap. Just how smart are you, chat? Are you interested or not interested? This used to be a common thing. They would send them out in the mail, and you'd see them in little posters and postcards and stuff. You could become an artist. So are we interested or not interested? Mikado thinks it's a trap. It's a crap. I like that there's a couple people in chat that regardless of what everyone seems to be thinking, they're still, you know what? Let's give it a try. You could always draw Winnie and then not send it. Or you end up drawing Winnie and you're so confident that it doesn't matter if you feel like not sending it. You're too confident, you got to send it, even though it looks like crap. Very split vote this time. Very split vote. But the poll has ended. And eking out a very small victory. We're not interested. We just call everyone in this game we don't like a commie and they'll be arrested. I don't think things were quite that bad at the time. But let's get another poll going here with 2 possible outcomes. Are we going to draw Winnie or throw out the matches? When you throw out the matches, they accidentally light and start a garbage can fire and burn the house down and you die. Ha ha ha! Luckily, this game isn't made by Sierra. Or EA. I don't know. At the time when EA was making games, they were pretty spot on with their gameplay. The poll has ended. Let's check our results out here. Option 2 with 4 of the votes. Option 1 almost made a comeback there. But just barely didn't. Time ran out. You're not going to be fooled by this old sham. Your drawing of Winnie usually entitles you to nothing more than a first-class ride on the bus to Sucker City. Dear baby, welcome to Sucker City. Population, budding artists. All right, but perhaps... Well, no, I'll let this play out first. Perhaps it's time to look at a job. Perhaps it's time to go on another date with Brian. I'm going to let you guys choose at the end of this path the next outside the box thing we're going to do. You were at a New Year's Eve party with the guy you are seeing. Very vague, but it's obviously Brian. Your best friend and her date. Everyone seems to be caught up in the spirit of the holiday. When midnight strikes, you give your boyfriend a nice big hug and a kiss. Then you turn around to wish some of your friends a Happy New Year. There's no clap emoji. No, but you can paste emojis into chat if you so wish. They probably already forgot who we're dating. I feel like it doesn't matter. Well, it probably does matter. Okay, let's, if you type in clap emoji. Now it's actually hands praying, I think. No, here's a clap emoji. Clap emoji. And you just copy this and you go boop, 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 boop. There you go, Bobo. Copy that and save it for later. When you turn around again, you see that your boyfriend and your best friend stuck together in a lip lock. How do you feel? Do you feel angry or cool? I don't know why they're calling it cool. I mean, they're trying to probably say cool with it, but you're like, oh, I'm just so cool. But watch out when a calm Zerfina strikes. We have 2 options here. We have number 1, which is angry. And number 2, this is so that the younger people in chat can understand what they're doing, is cool. Those were your 2 options. But the poll's already over. Let's get the results here. The winner is option 1 with 2 of the votes. We mad. Everyone was too busy looking up emojis to vote. So, who are we going to be angry with? We have 3 options here. Number 1, say something to our girlfriend. Number 2, say something to our boyfriend. Or number 3, say nothing. Could be any one of them. Although, the out loud voters in chat are really swinging towards the boyfriend. Get him in trouble. He should know better. We know our girlfriend is a skank. We just keep her around because she's fun. Mad face. That was enough to trigger this thing. Let's get the results. The winner is option 2 with 5 of the votes. We're going to say something to our boyfriend. So, they both look at you as if you have 2 heads. Maybe you were overreacting. There is a continue here.
Destroy him, my
Later on that
robot.
evening, you see him with his hand on her leg. Aw, hell no. All right. Real quick, I'm going to give you guys an option here. Let's get a poll start. Because I feel like... Poll start 4. All right. If you look at your options on the screen, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 options. I'll remind you, as Papa Zerf, in my advice, that number 4 has the option to dump somebody you are currently seeing. And I'm going to make 5 options because option 5 is just following the path still. But option 4 is the spot you can go to if you wish to dump somebody. Not that I'm saying what you should do. I'm just saying there's options. Let's see. I'm trying to make decisions of my own at the same time here. Dump that deadbeat boy toy. Your votes are really sensible, but this time they're in. Oh, interesting. Some people did not wish to go after the boyfriend. Let's hit results twice here to get it to go. But with 2 of the votes, we're heading towards Dumbville, but not necessarily doing it yet. So what do you guys want to do? Meet someone? Break it off with someone, or go on a date with your present partner. 3 options. Talk about becoming... I'm not giving you that option yet. You only got 3. Top 3. Decide what you want to do. Ooh, interesting. Interesting indeed. Not many people are voting on this one, but the ones that are split on the situation. Is this the game or Papa Zerf? This is well, it's Papa Zerf being like, you're only 15, you're not going steady with a guy that just cheated on or just had his hand on your best friend's leg. You know better than that. There's a tie between the following choices: 1, 2, and 3. Beep beep beep. Ping pong. The option is number 1. Interesting. A little bit
You
turnabout
may
fair
have something
play.
a little classier than a TV set called a
Where would you
monitor.
like to meet this person? Jeez, guys, you're going down a weird path here. Poll has ended. What will it be? Check the results. The winner is option 3 with 3 of the votes. Whom would you like to meet? All right. There is... What was it? It's 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8. 8 boys to meet. Want to meet Brian again? Hey, we're currently, it's going to be like Pina Colada. Oh, hey, I'm going to go into this one-eyed. Oh, it's my boyfriend the whole time. Oh, aren't we silly? We both love Pina Coladas and Walks in the Rain. Oh, we should have known. It could be any one of these guys. We thought Brian was such a good fit, and then he started putting his hand on our friend. Hey, your name is Brian too. Great, I don't have to memorize a new one. But then if you ever find that you have a third boyfriend and his name isn't Brian, you might have a hard time. Because it's just the natural instinct. Let's grab the results. Option 8 with 2 votes. We're going with Frank. Let's be frank about this. The game's going to be like, you have a boyfriend. You have chosen to meet with Frank. His characteristics may be described as the following, but they might not be as well. He is not very trustworthy. He is not very gentle. He is moderately calm. He is moderately happy. He is moderately confident. And he is not very good looking. To be frank with you, my dear, you made a poor choice. You meet Frank while on vacation. After talking with one another for a while and giving each other time, you get a good first impression. Talk about going out. The big moment finally comes when he finally asks you for a date, and you accept. You could not change your mind, apparently. Well, you guys made your bet. I'm going to make you lie, and it's time to go on a date with this guy. Zerfina's not a shallow person, but it's not the guy's looks. It's the fact that he's not very trustworthy and not very gentle. He seems like a bad person for a relationship. To Papa Zerf. But Zerfina can do what she wants. Apparently I did not press the continue button hard enough. Frank has just won an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to a fantastic ski resort in Vermont. He has invited you to go along with him. There's only one problem. Your parents absolutely refuse to allow you to take an overnight trip with anyone of the opposite sex. What will you do? I have a feeling that I would refuse this as well for a 14 or 15-year-old. Are we going to... We got 1, 2, 3, 4 options here. So... You're going to 1. Lie to your parents and go anyways. 2. Argue with your parents with Frank there for support. 3. Sit down with your parents and try to have an adult conversation about it. Or 4. Tell Frank it's not worth the trouble. He should go alone. And I'm sure he'll stay alone the whole time. He's very trustworthy. Interesting. Interesting so far. The poll has ended. Let's check the results. Option 3 with 2 votes. Let's go ahead and sit down with our parents and try to have an adult conversation about it. You've been dating this guy for 1 date. I don't see what the problem is. You decide to confront them honestly. Your dad appreciates this. And he answers with the same honesty. He doesn't trust Frank alone in the same room with you. He thinks the two of you will have sex. You mentioned that if you wanted to have sex, it would be easier to go to some place closer to home, like a local motel. You are proud of yourself for winning points in the logic department. That's going to really win you points in the logic department. Dad says, very true, very true. Then gets a very sinister look on his face and continues. Just about the only difference, young lady, is that if you did something like that close to home and I found out about it, I would not be inconvenienced by having to travel far to find you and beat your boyfriend to a pulp.
You chicken. I'm totally okay with it.
All right, you're stuck dating this loser for a while. But, is that a cat skiing? Weird. I should never have taught Bobo to paste emojis. You are currently madly in love with a guy who is having a birthday next week. You are trying to think of what to get him. Since money is tight, you really should be careful about what you will buy. You have no money. Ain't got no money. How do you feel? 1, are you generous? 2, are you having mixed feelings? 3, are you feeling not that generous? And then you have 2 options afterwards. The window breaker car stereo system he has that on. You ain't got money for that. And Papa Zerf ain't paying for it. Not for someone like Frank. If that is in fact who you're even buying this for. Oh, Bobo, you and your slashes. The poll has ended. The results are in. People are feeling not that generous. But Dad, no buts. Not in this house. All right, so poll start 2. Stash always comes first. Are we going to buy him the stereo or buy him something else? People seem to be leaning towards buying him something else. It makes sense. You ain't got no money. How you gonna pay for a stereo system? Maybe they weren't as expensive back in the day, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case at all. Where's my damn whisper? There it is. The poll has ended. Let's get the results. Yes, with 5 of the votes. I'm going to buy him something else. People were split on how they felt, if they had mixed feelings or not. You buy him some soap on a rope and some old man cologne, which were on sale in the Salvation Warehouse. He's less than impressed. All right, here's the end of your little side adventure. Your best friend since grade school has been looking depressed and confused. She's usually a very happy-go-lucky person, so you can't really understand what could be wrong. How do you feel? Are you sympathetic and concerned or uninterested? I think chat knows how I would expect them to feel. As a father, you gotta keep your friends close. Keep tabs on them. No, you gotta look out for your friends. You know, when things are going wrong for them, things are going wrong for you too. The poll has ended. Let's check our results. Winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. We are sympathetic and concerned. Are we going to ask her what's wrong? Number 1 or number 2? Keep it to yourself. It's none of your business. That reads like a Family Feud thing, where somebody's like, "I'm going to be sympathetic, concerned, but my guess is to talk secretly with her," and they're going to be like, "What's it say for secret? Keep it to yourself. It's none of your business." Let's check the results. And with 5 votes, we're going to ask her what's wrong. She tells you that there's nothing wrong, but you can see by her face that she is deeply troubled. Are we going to keep pressing her to tell you, or just leave her alone? Does she want to be alone with her thoughts? She is acting very out of character. That can be a troubling sign. The vote is a little bit split. People aren't sure which way to go with this. What's the best way to handle your friend's situation? I mean, you don't want to be a nag, but you also don't want to, you know, have something bad happen to your friend if they're going through a troubling time. Results are in. Option 1 wins, but just barely. Nobody wants to have the heavy responsibility of what might happen weighing on their vote. After much hesitation, she lowers her eyes and blurts out that she thinks she is a homosexual. Maybe you all are homosexuals too. She's worried that if she tells any friends, they will desert her and that she will be laughed at. What are you feeling right now? So 3 options. Are you anxious, shocked, disgusted, or accepting? You can be supportive, but you have to tell the game how you feel first. And you know what? don't yuck someone's yum, and don't make someone feel bad for who they are. That's the Papa Zerf way. You know, not everybody's the same, and you shouldn't look down on people for being who they are. That's my advice. You don't have to vote the way I say. You're your own little girl. Although you're growing up quick. The poll is over. Yes, this is one of the biggest differences between the mid-'80s and the mid-2010s. Or even in the noughts, things were a little bit different. Let's check the results. With 4 votes, option 3 wins. We are going to be accepting. Oh, the game's got to think about this. It's nice to see that you're willing to be supportive. How are we going to handle the situation, though? That's true. Yeah, I remember there being, and I remember when I was in school in the 80s, one of the kids in our school actually ended up having AIDS because he caught it from his mom when he was born or whatever. And they had a big thing about teaching us about how it's not, you know, don't ostracize the kid because of that. You're not going to get sick just by being in the same school as them and stuff. And there was meetings for parents and everything. They had to explain to people like, hey, you know, this isn't the kid's fault. Don't be a big jerk about it. So how are we going to do this? We're going to do number 1, sympathize and ask her to tell you all about it. Or 2, offer to support but suggest she speaks with someone who knows more about it. This is your vote now. I mean, there's these things both make sense, right? You sympathize with her and have her talk to you about it and talk it out. I don't see there's not... I mean, the game really should have a thing where you sympathize, have her talk to you, tell her everything she wants to tell you about it. And in the end, you say, I also think you should talk to somebody that may be able to help you more than I can. But, yeah, why not both? But, you know, it's really sort of a personal decision now. How much do you want to support your friend? I think the results are in now, yeah. With 3 of the votes, option 1. That's the one we're going to go with. Things are getting serious for Zerfina here. You may be asking for more work than you're willing to provide for this friend. As a result of your sympathy, she becomes very dependent, telling you her every problem, every thought, and every worry. This is bound to wear down on the patience of even the most true blue friend. At this time in your life, I'm sure you have many of your own problems to deal with. As a result, you become tired of being her therapist and begin avoiding her. Your friendship eventually dwindles away. See, Bobo may have had the right idea, though. Of doing both would have been a much better situation. But the game didn't give us that option. All right, back to the main story path. We can deal with all the lesbian talk. But this girl just won't shut up about pogs. Let's go ahead and give you a 4 vote here. We are probably old enough. As you're voting, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on an adventure, go to high school, go to work, try to get a job, or go on a date. Here's where we're at. We're 16 now. We still don't have a job. We're technically single. We're not steady with anyone. So you could just meet anybody new, I guess, if you don't have a full partner. Our calmness has gone down a little. Our confidence is way up. Expressiveness is way up. Familial ties have gone down a little bit. Become a little less gentle, it looks like. Our happiness is down a bit. Our intelligence has dropped a little bit because we haven't been doing much schoolwork. Our physicality has gone up. Our social has gone way down. We used to be in the 90s, and now we're in the 60s. Our thoughtfulness is 83. Trustworthiness is up. Vocation is still nothing. We have no money or acquisitions. The poll has ended. Let's check the results. There was a tie between 1 and 3. Beep, 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 ping pong. We're going on an adventure. You are at your first rock concert with friends. I'm not going to stop this one there. Midway through the concert, someone passes you a joint and tells you, it's okay to take some. Here is your chance. We can just stop now, and when you stop, it just stops. Story over. Or you can continue into the reefer madness. How are you going to react? You're at a rock concert after all. I did see a ridiculous picture that a friend showed me where there's a bunch of kids and they have a joint and they're trying to hand it to the one kid and he's like this. And then the caption says, "No thanks, I'm already gay." Oh, in uninformed people, that's not how it works. I'm surprised at how the vote is actually going for this. Bobo says just say no. Poll is over. And with 3 of the votes, we're going to stop it there. You know, these stories do continue on and you can stop them at pretty much any point. There might have been a choice of taking one puff and then stopping, or whatnot. All right. All of your friends are skipping class. They want you to come along too. Are you interested in playing hooky? I'll be honest with you. I played hooky a bit as a kid. Nothing too wrong with doing it as long as you don't do it too much. You gotta live a little. However, as a parent, you should stay in school. Eat your vegetables. Don't do drugs. Ooh, a split vote so far. Split vote so far. Let's get your votes in. Right now. If you vote right now, you have all the power in the world. Because there's a tie. Oh, Bobo abstains. He feels, perhaps, that he couldn't condone it, but at the same time couldn't take the moral high ground there and say you have to not do it. The winner is option 2. With 2 of the votes. We're uninterested. So, are we going to uninterestedly skip class or uninterestedly go to class? The votes coming in boring styles. Although, you know what? It might not be the wrong call to go to class because our intelligence has dropped from the 90s to the 60s. You never did skip. I don't know how you got so much time in at the arcade then. That's how I got it in. We used to, it was in OAC, I guess. I was going to college anyway, so I didn't need OAC courses, grade 13. But, maybe that's the only reason why you didn't skip. Nothing interesting to do. The winner is option 2 with 3 of the votes. We're going to go to class. No, I had period 1 physics and period 2 spare, and I used to skip period 1 physics to go to. It was grade 11 physics, and I was in grade 13. I was taking it because I liked the experiments. So when there wasn't an experiment, I'd peace out. You spend a boring day in class thinking about what your friends are probably doing. Do you begin to daydream or do your schoolwork? You know what? I've never gone down this path in the game, so it's interesting to see what you guys are doing. Oh, Zed Power's like, let's hunker down, sharpen our pencils, and get our work done. Hey, you know what? If we get our work done in school, maybe we'll have more time after school to do something cool. Probably not, but our smarts will go up. Got to get smart. SMRT. Yeah, we stayed and we might as well get some benefit from it. Fair enough. Oh, I pulled the trigger too early on the results. Poll's not over yet. Ah, now the poll's ended. Yes, with 4 votes, we're going to do our schoolwork. You are very studious. And very lucky as well. After school, a gorgeous Bulb Fredrickson asks you to tutor him in math. Looks like it was worth staying after all. Way to go, guys. Hot Bob. Sulfur D. Oh. So this game is pretty preachy too. That's probably something that should be reminded. The game's pretty preachy, so sometimes the results of doing things that are not right are way over exaggerated as what they should be. All right. Mealy, a new Chinese student Or Mei Li, a new Chinese student who can barely speak English, is a new... Let's start this over. Mei Li is a new Chinese student who can barely speak English. She appears awkward and is not aware of modern styles of dress and is a bit clumsy. Everyone at school has begun making fun of her. How do you feel? Now, I bet you when you take her glasses off, though, and ruffle up her hair, she'll look completely different. Vote 1 if you're sympathetic. Vote 2 if you're unconcerned. And we'll see what sort of shenanigans we get up to here. I feel like sometimes people abstain from the vote just to see exactly how people would let things go. Oh man, our lesbian friend will love her once we take the glasses off, and we'll get to be the best maid and the bridesmaid and the best man in the wedding. She takes off her glasses and she has animu eyes. The poll has ended. Best. Whoa, man. And the results. Option 1 with 3 of the votes. We're sympathetic. Are we going to try to make friends with her or sympathetically ignore her? At least we're not making fun. I think you know what to do, Zerfina. It's nap time. Nice sympathetic nap in the cafeteria while people make fun of her. Yeah, it's getting pretty close to nap time. I wonder how much further. This might be a longer version of I should have gotten started sooner. All right, the results are in with 2 votes. We're going to try to make friends. People are getting too sleepy to make their votes. You approach her and with tremendous difficulty try to make conversation. She seems very shy and very self-conscious about her communication difficulties. Your friends think you are stupid for wasting your time with her. It seems hopeless that the two of you will ever be able to understand each other. You can keep trying or give up. Who knows? Maybe her parents are spies. And maybe by becoming friends with her, after the commies take over America, you may be one of the ones given a position of power. Mandarin can't be too hard. Yeah, it's, I mean, do we have the, oh, she's from Taiwan. She's an ally. There you go. She's from real China. The poll is over. Let's get the results. Option 2 with 4 votes. We're going to keep trying. Good on you, folks. Actually, nobody voted to give up. Months pass, and May begins to learn English very quickly. Just think how long it would take you to learn Chinese if it were the other way around. As soon as she's able to express herself, she tells you that she appreciates your sympathy and friendship. You have made a lifelong friend. There we go. May will bail us out when we get arrested during a bachelorette party. Ooh, interesting stuff coming up. Lots of social things. Lots of social things in high school. The family... Ooh, this is not very nice, it seems. The family dog has been acting a little particular lately, and no one can figure out why. Some of your fellow family members suggest that he should be given away, or worse, put to sleep. This is the hairy man that we met at the beginning of the game. Dad delivers an ultimatum. The dog must shape up or ship out. This is not how Papa Zerf would act. You are the only one in the house who can take responsibility for getting him back into shape. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like taking on the responsibility, or don't feel like taking on the responsibility? Yeah, geez. Game puts Lucky in the game, our furry little man, and then tries to take him away? Jeez. I wonder if we have the stats required to save the dog. It all comes down to this, folks. Jeez, I should have set something up to end the poll fast when everybody's voting one way. Because there's only one way this vote's going. I can see it already. Results. And yes, the winner is feel like taking responsibility. I almost feel like we don't need to vote this next one, but I don't want to take away your guys' democracy. Are we going to train the dog, or are we going to don't train the dog in a responsible manner? Yeah, and once again, the results are very weighted to one side. Get them results in. RoboZerf, what's taking you so long to tally up the poll? There we go. 30 seconds has finally ended. The Zerfina Congress makes useful decisions, unlike the U.S. Congress. All right, we're going to train the dog. You spend every available minute keeping an eye on the dog, rewarding him for good behavior, and keeping him out of trouble. One day, when you return home from school, you can smell what can only be the byproduct, one of the dog's byproducts. Number 2, to be specific, the smell is emanating from your parents' bedroom. You enter the room to find the dog is sleeping peacefully in the corner, a sculpture sitting squarely atop Dad's favorite pillow. Fortunately, nobody's home. How are we going to try to take care of this situation? Whew, this is a hard one. Poll start. Are we going to dispose of the pillow and play dumb later? 2, try to wash the pillow. Or 3, dispose of the pillow and admit the truth. Jeez. What to do in this situation? I mean, it's not that hard to wash a pillow. You got a washing machine. But has Zerfina been helping out enough around the house to know what she's doing? Is our father calm enough? He'll smell this poo. Or maybe the texture will have changed after being washed. It's not the same pillow it used to be. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, playing dumb later might work. But being honest has done well for us most of the time in the past. It's too bad you can't program your father into the game. Hey, Dad, program yourself into the game before you hand this game to your kid to play through life. All right. Let's check the results. With 3 votes, just barely eking out a victory, we're going to dispose of the pillow and admit the truth. Your dad's going to say, why didn't you just watch it? Your dad becomes furious. He screams, I knew it! That mangy animal has made me miserable for the absolute last time. The following week, the dog is given to your Uncle Fred. Hopefully he's better than the Fred we dated. All right, let's keep on working our way up here. And at the split, you'll be given the choice of following the path or doing a side quest or doing a outside the typical doodad thingamabob. You are listening to the radio, and you hear the guest DJ is, get ready, because you will drop dead from the shock, which is more than one human can possibly bear. Atom bomb! Get it? The famous atom bomb and the nuclear wastes is the band that he is of. The show is accepting call-in questions and comments. Callers can win autographed albums, money, and expensive prizes. Oh no, Lethal Feline has dropped dead. He did not prepare himself properly for Atom Bomb. He should have ducked and covered. You know Atom Bomb, the made-up guy that they're saying is awesome. How do we feel about this guy? Are we interested or not interested? Do we call the show or do we not call the show? Jeez. There's a little bit of both going on here. Zerfina's not quite sure how she feels. Jeez. Poor Lethal can't vote. He dead. What are the results going to be? I mean, you don't know him, so you can't say yes. It sounds like a scam to get your credit card number. It's the radio. I mean, there's radio shows all the time. Let's check the results here. Option 1 is the winner. All right. So, now that we've shown interest, remember your role-playing here. Don't pretend you're not interested anymore. Are we going to call the show or do not call the show? I mean, it's something that a kid would do, is get interested in something but then not follow through and call the show. Although, if I was this game and someone did that, I would lower their stats.
You're pretty good.
Hey, the Ma 108. You're pretty good. Thanks for the follow. And don't forget to get your vote on here. You can easily vote by saying a number in chat or by whispering a number to RoboZerf. If you /W at RoboZerf, you are included in the poll. Wubba dub dub. So let's check the results of this poll. We are going to be going with Call the Show with 2 votes. You get a busy signal. Do you know what? I'm going to override chatter. We're just going to keep calling. You can't win without trying. Although I wonder if this game is a freaking... Oh, you got in! All right, here's your chance. You are greeted by the voice of the regular disc jockey who says, "Hi, how are you today? We're here with Adam Baum. What do you want to ask? What do you want to ask him? A question? Or do you want to crack at one of our valuable prizes? What do you want to do? Do you want to ask him a question, number 1? Or number 2, do you want to try for a prize?" Lethal's interested in talking to him. He's back from the dead. The shock has finally worn off. Other people want the prizes. They want tickets or money. Geez. So far, it's coming down to a tiebreaker. Anybody who votes now has all the power in the world. You're like that last vote in a coalition where they had 50 or 49% of the government, and your 1% can get them just over. The poll has ended. Results are in, and there's a tie. Oh, we're going to ask him a question as a result of RoboZerf's tie-breaking vote. Your heart is pounding 1,000 miles an hour. When you hang up the phone, you can neither remember the question nor the answer. One thing you do remember is that Adam said you sounded older and very beautiful on the phone. He said you had a sexy telephone voice. Could you scream? The answer is yes, you could. You're a teenage girl. All right. Squee! Adam Baum. He thinks you sound sexy. It would be a very mature, sexy screen to go along with our sexy pose. Tara, a foreign friend from Jamaica, asked you over to her house for dinner. Your first course is an interesting looking kind of soup. You take a sip and find it's delicious. You inquire as to what type of soup this is. Tara's mother replies with a proud smile on her face. Turtle soup. Don't worry, folks, it's just mock turtle. How do you feel about this soup? Are you horrified, ambivalent, or open to the delicious flavor of turtle? Remember, it took them years to get a live sample of tortoise back to England from the Galapagos Islands because they just tasted too damn good. They'd bring them back. We're going to sell this in England and make $1 million. Oh, but this hardtack is terrible, and this tortoise looks so moist and delicious. We do have a bit of a spread in the vote, but it looks like it's going one way over the other. Let's check the results. Oh, I said it too fast. Ooh, I said it too fast. It's not going to show up in the chat. However, the results were with 2 votes over 2 1 votes. We're going to be open about it. Let's start up another poll here. We're going to try to eat all of the soup, eat a little more of the soup, or stop eating the soup and hope no one notices. I mean, stop eating the soup is not a very open way of souping it up. Let's go ahead and get those votes in there. Oh, people are getting committed now. Now that they know that they're role-playing as somebody that's open to turtle soup, they're quite adamantly voting in one direction. No saving that mock turtle now. It kind of reminds me of my dad once made rabbit stew when I was quite young. And it tasted good. But my grandmother was over, and he told her that it was chicken stew. And afterwards she said, "That was the most delicious chicken stew I had. The meat was so moist. What did you do different from normal?" And my dad said, "I used rabbit instead of chicken." And she was mortified and so mad at him for letting her eat that cute little bunny. The winner is option 1 with 3 votes. We're going to try to eat all of the soup. Delicious bunnies. Rabbit is good. Feast after Easter. A lot of people actually have Easter rabbit for dinner. But a lot of people are really sensitive about that. Your willingness to experience new things is remarkable. Besides, those little pieces of meat taste just like chicken, but more moist and delicious. Your adventurous delights Tara's mom, adventurousness, who shows you pictures of her island and tells you about its people and customs. Intellectual spheres, rise. Congratulations, you got smart. All right, so poll start 3. Number 1 in this poll is following down the main path. Number 2 in this poll is taking the side quest first. And number 3 is doing one of these 4 outside options before continuing. Oh, you learned so much about Bob Marley, and your next concert is going to be even more interesting than your last. Because Tara's mom is going to be joining us. And she's got it going on in the ganja department. But don't worry, this isn't like the last concert. It's not laced with anything. It's just some of the dankest kush in town. Are we old enough? You are old enough to get that paper now. We are over 16. It is possible to try to get a job. So it might be worth doing. Right now, only 2 people have voted for which path to follow. People seem to be willing to go with the flow. Oh, just after the buzzer. And unfortunately, that makes it a tiebreaker. Beep, beep, beep. Ping pong. The winner is option 3. So, unfortunately, Mikado, you've been stuck with the choice, having to decide which of these 4 paths to follow. 1 is high school stuff. 2 is looking at getting a job. 3 is an adventure. And 4 is dating. The vote split so far. Oh, Mikado wants to go on adventure time. You know, get to sort out. Hang out with Jake and Finn. Well, there's votes all over the board here. And the poll has ended. How has it ended? Ooh, with 2 votes. Option 2 is the winner. I'm going to try to get a job. We don't have a job, so this is not a possible option, so we'll skip the vote this time. Apparently, if you find you're spending too much time at your job, you gotta worry about things. Jobs are for commies. I mean, not exactly. If you live in a communist country, you might be able, if it's truly communist, you might be able to skirt by with doing as little as possible. So, what type of job are you going to try to find? I don't know how smart we are now. We used to be pretty smart. We can cook in a fast food store, clerk in a drug store, ticket taker in a movie theater, bookkeeper for a trucking firm, or assistant in a law office. We know all about Jamaica. There's 5 options here. Whoops, I actually opened up the developer tools. I don't need those. 5 options. So, place your votes. What type of future do you want? Interesting. Things are a little bit all over the board. But the exit polls so far are showing 5 as being in the lead. We're going to help in Jamaican law. We're going to be Jamaican some changes to some laws. You know, religious freedom and all that. Some people would appreciate things being legalized. Oh, there we go. The poll has ended. Exclamation point. Results. The winner is option 5 with 3 of the votes. You're right. Absolutely right. If you start as an assistant bookkeeper, you may one day be an accountant. Congratulations! You start work immediately. You did it! How does our work do? It doesn't say yet. We are going to... Does this say anything? Does it have go to work? No. So we have the job now, and it will change things as they go on. Frick! Geez, I'll just do the same thing. You may only have one job at a time. You have to put your old job first. I don't want to. Okay, good. All right, let's check out our life sphere status. Where's Zerfina? We're 17. Law assistant. Single. Single law assistant in the city. Our calmness is up to 40. It's up from where we started, but I think down a little bit from where our height was. Confidence is 99. Our expressiveness is 90. Familial ties have dropped to 77. Our gentleness is way up. Our happiness has also gone up, but just a touch. Intelligence is 92. All that Jamaican influence has brought us back up into the 90s. Our physical is 59. Not bad. Our social aspect is 90. Our thoughtfulness is 90. We got mad points. And we have $390 cash now. Yeah. Got gold and paper. So, we are going to get another poll going here. We're going to follow the main path or follow the side path. The side path is this. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, so I'll use this one. This is the side path. There is a heart. And there is a body check. Going this way is a body check right away, and then leads up into some family stuff, and then job things. And we're getting pretty close, I think, to the end of the... Yep. End of the part of our life. Who's the cash man now, dog?
Hello!
There
I'll
it
give
is.
you cash. I'll give you cash. I love gold, and I'll give you cash because I'm the cash man. I'll give you money for your gold. Oh, yeah.
Let's get the results of this poll. And the winner, with 1 vote, is option 1, which is following the main path. Interesting. Interesting. Very few voters. Unless I accidentally said that backwards and said option 1 was going this way. Mikado will have to remind me which one I said, but I'm pretty sure it's this. And yes, Lethal is absolutely right. The dog would probably say Fred these days. Poor, poor Lucky. Sent to live with Uncle Fred. Well, with no response, we're going to be going down this path. You said 1 is a side path. Okay, I will trust you because you are the only one that voted. So even if you were lying, it wouldn't matter. A close friend of yours has taken a particular habit lately. After every meal, she runs to the bathroom and throws up so she doesn't have to worry about her weight. She doesn't seem to think there's anything weird about it. She's losing weight rapidly. How do we feel? Are we... Wait, now vote. Are we 1, concerned, 2, angry, or 3, unconcerned? Papa Zerf will say there is 1 proper answer and 1 very improper answer. I mean, I can understand being angry because you're a confused young lady. But yes, you're absolutely right, Lethal. She's going to do terrible things to her body if she keeps this up. Or maybe you're angry with yourself for not doing anything sooner. Let's check the results. And with 6 votes, we are concerned. When the big deals in life come out, there's a lot of votes. Did I honestly start a poll with only 1 option? Jeez. Oh, what a dingus. Okay, so although I don't think anyone tried to vote for anything else anyways. Poll start 2. Let's do this a little bit more accurately. Are we going to try to help straighten her out or do nothing? She's a good friend and that's her business. I don't think that she's a good friend should be followed with and that's her business.
Oh, so you like nurses? Well, okay.
So I think this one's going to have the exact same results as the last one. Is she trying to stay thin for Brian? Oh, right. I don't know if that's our best friend anymore. Besides, we're dating crappy old Frank now. You guys should probably try to do something about that, at least when we're in college. We haven't gone steady with him or anything, so there's nothing too terrible happening. Geez, I try to save time by pressing up to get to the whispers. All right, and of course, with all of the votes, option 1, try to help straighten her out, is our option. She denies that she has any problem. Are we going to insist that she does, or leave her alone? Did we try and decide we're out of here now, or are we going to try to make things right? How do you pronounce your name? Rack? I'd imagine the J alters the R somehow. Or is it Jack, but it's like Jack? Give me a phonetic spelling of this. Because like Bjork is B, so it's Yak? Rack? I'm sorry if I'm messing that up horribly. I'm just trying to sound it out myself. Let's check the results. Anyways, welcome to the channel and thanks for voting. Welcome to the stream. So, the results are in, and with 4 votes, we're going to insist that she does. She gets angry at you and calls you names. So, here's where you get to decide how true a friend you truly are. Ah, you got it from Master of Magic. No idea how it's pronounced. Fair enough. You can't be too insulted in the way that I say it then. I'm just going to go with Rack, because it's the way I can say. Shut up, you names. All right, so wait. There you go. Start voting now. Sorry, Zed Power. I faltered a second there. Yeah. Perhaps we should insist that the names that she is providing for us actually apply to her face. Actually, I told Jaxors the other day, it might have been earlier today, that if I would tell my daughter, if people are making fun of you, there's 2 types of ways you can respond. By telling them that it's just like their face, or explaining to them that that's not what their mom said last night. Jaxors didn't think that was good advice. The winner is option 1, with 4 votes. Your concern for your friend is admirable. It shows that you're sensitive to the amount of danger that she's in. Unfortunately, there's no way to help people like this. Great advice, game. If she ever chooses to straighten out, it will have to come from within. That's not always true. Sometimes you need to have an intervention. Well, it's time to do a body check. If you lock her in her room, she won't have any problems with bulimia anymore because she'll just starve. Chopping off all her fingers so she can't purge. But then her hand will be finally small enough to fit inside her mouth. You are shopping at a drugstore. It's almost closing time and the manager is letting the customers out one by one, keeping the door locked so no one else can come in. You are in the rear of the store making a phone call. Suddenly, a man in line at the cash register takes out a gun and announces a holdup. He looks drunk and the gun looks fake, but it's hard to be sure from where you are. Oh, are we going to die? How do we feel? So, I'm pretty sure as a boy you're given the option to try to stop him, but it seems as a girl you're given the option of staying still or phoning the police. But, poll start. 2. Are we frightened or brave? We do have very high confidence and our physicality is above 50%. And Zerfina should know what a gun looks like. People are looking to be brave. We're going to let it go. Wait, that's the wrong movie. Brave is the one with the Scottish girl. And I don't recall there being many songs in it either. But I could be mistaken. I took my niece to see that one. We'll fire at him using our perfectly legal... No, it has to be two-handed. We don't have a disability that would make us need to have one crossbow. But if we did have a disability, we could fire it from our vehicles while hunting. The winner is option 2 with 5 of the votes. We're going to be brave. This is going to be an interesting thing. Okay, are we going to keep still bravely or phone the police bravely? I mean, he hasn't noticed us so far. I mean, this is Merca, but it's just North Merca. Because, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about trying to raise a daughter in America right now as a Canadian. I feel like our ship may be on the right course a little bit more right now in Canada. Although not everyone would agree with me. So the poll is over. Let's get the results. The winner is option 2 with 3 of the votes. We are going to phone the police. Let's check in our stats. You move solely on instinct. So instinctfully, you quickly and carefully dial the police and whisper into the receiver. The police are quick to arrive and he is easily subdued. You acted bravely. We were able to be calm enough, I guess. I'm sure we got... Let's check our stats out here. I'm sure we got some stats bonuses for this. Is Canadian Donald Trump rising in popularity? I thought that... So there was a Canadian Donald Trump floating around. He wasn't as bad as Donald Trump. His name is Kevin Leary, I believe is his name. He's on... It's Dragon's Den in Canada. I believe it's called Shark Tank in the States. He is a Canadian business mogul, and he owns the rights to Wearing Time is Carmen San Diego. But I'm pretty sure he decided not to bother running anymore. I thought he stepped down from that. It's O'Leary, isn't it? Yeah. He'll reconsider. I don't know. I think he realized that it wasn't really worth doing. I think he was actually in the running for the leader of the party, and he stepped down from the running for the leader of the party. So now he's not the leader of the party. All right. Anyways, let's check it out. Our calmness is 40. Confidence, 99. Expressiveness is high, so everything's still pretty high here. Our calmness was what we need to work on. Our physicality as well. Our vocational stuff is kind of low. We're going to have to decide here if we want to start skipping stuff to get up to job styles. Because they're, well, we might be able to get there, but we're definitely not going to get to the highest stuff. Let's, but I'm not going to let you skip over this possibly injuring situation. A cousin of yours asks if you would like to inherit her wig collection. Interesting. Are you, it is interesting. But are you interested? It's kind of weird. I don't know what the purpose of this would be. People are very surprised they're earwigs. You keep them as pets for quite some time. Zerfina is actually Donald Trump with a bad toupee. Could be after this harrowing event. Oh my. Oh, you've got to be headed out. Okay, Bobo. Oh, and something weird happened. We lost connection to the chat server. It's reconnected, though. Let's see if the results will work. Yes, they did. All right, the winner is option 1 with 4 of the votes. Before Bobo took off, he and several others have chosen to become interested in wigs. So, full start 2. Are we going to accept the wigs? And people are following their heart's desire. Got to get them wigs. I mean, some people would rather vote for the non-wig party. I don't know which party is wigs and which one's the other ones. All this crazy slang. Tories. There you go. poll is over. Let's check the results. And oh, what a surprise. People want the wigs. The wigs look kind of funky. You begin wearing them as a joke because you have good social skills. Your friends see you and think you are up on some new fad. Everyone starts wearing old wigs. You start calling yourselves the Dead Possums. Well, there you go. Because of our high social skill, that worked out well. You have just been given the female lead role in the school play opposite Kurt Harris, voted hottest bod of the century by classmates. The role calls for a very heavy love scene. Unaware that you are within hearing distance, Kurt learns that you are his female lead and blurts out, "I can't kiss her. I'll puke." What? We were considered the prettiest baby in the hospital, and our social skills are super high. We're one of the cool kids. How do you guys feel about this? Are you angry, depressed, or unflappable? Are you a non-flappy bird? Ooh, people are instantly pushing the unflappable vote. And remember, we are super confident. So even if we are unflappable, we could say something to him. Tell him maybe he should quit the show if he can't handle being a true method actor. And then plant one right on him. Take that. Sexy pose. Yeah, a lot of us are guys. This stuff doesn't bother us. There's a lot of guys that do take things to heart a little more than they let on. Let's check the results. And oh, what a surprise. Winner's option 3. Unflappable. How are we going to handle this guy's little kerfuffle? Are we going to quit the show, say something to him, or do nothing? The show must go on. Ooh, people are saying don't bother confronting. Not everybody's saying it, but people seem to want to we got to be pro-ice. Do you know what you should do? The show must go on, but you eat a bunch of raw eggs and drink some canola oil right before the love scene, and then you puke in his mouth. Oh, what a great prank. It's just a social experiment, bro. The winner is option 3. Not everybody voted for it, but plenty of people think we should do nothing. The show must go on. Perhaps we can become an actress in the future. Your guts may be turning, but outside you stay cool, calm, and collected. You are confident, but rejection is hard to take at your age no matter how well adjusted you are. Very true. After the first rehearsal, Kurt starts to put the moves on you. Looks like you weren't so disgusting after all. How do you handle that? He is the hottest bod after all. Do you fly into his arms or resist him? Vote now. Ooh. Yes, I can see the way this is going for chat. Zerfina is hard to get. Ah. Very true indeed. This is a teen stream, Mikado. That means that we're not allowed to be overly sexual and whatnot. But you can tell that bitch to get fucked. At least I feel that's the way that I read the rules, and they seem to imply that you are allowed to swear as long as it's not a non-stop all the time. Let's peep these results. Option 2 with 4 of the votes. Not many people wanted to take advantage of the situation. Good choice. You've got his number. He's a flighty individual. The game applauds you. Right before you go out on a big date, you lean your hand against the wall and snap! You break a fingernail. There's a tube of lock bond glue all in the drawer. Or glue all in the drawer. Glue all in the drawer. Are we self-conscious or not self-conscious? We do have quite the confidence level in ourselves. And we turned down the hot bod, Brad, I think his name was. So we could probably handle not having a nail. Off-brand Gorilla Glue? No thanks. Yeah, you're going to glue your hands together before the date. That'll be great. Poll has ended. Let's peep those results. Option 2 with 5 votes. Let's go. Not self-conscious. Are we going to unself-consciously glue the nail? Or are we going to file the nail down and forget about it? The option's up to you. And yes, people do seem quite confident in their looks and their skills, their filing skills. I mean, we do work as a law assistant. You know we're good at filing. I'm a little bit too proud of myself for that one. I'm going to have to get a shitty rim shot in as one of my soundboard things. Yes, remember, only you can prevent gluing Zerfina's hands together. All right, let's get the results here. And of course, we're going to file down the nail. Yes. You're not going to let a little nail ruin your whole evening. This is a great attitude. Your date comments on how beautiful you are and never even notices. It is a guy after all. All right, so we got a couple of family events and then a couple of work events happening. And, you know, we're going to run out of time soon. The game might give us a hard time for not going on too many adventures, but you got to do your work too, right? You are in a quite pensive mood, and your thoughts turn to the subject of religion. Your family's belief seems out of step with your own, and you wonder about the nature of your existence. Would they understand if you told them about the differences? Yeah, he probably wasn't looking at her nails. Jerk-ass kids. I know what boys think. Stay away from my daughter. Are you curious or not curious? Wait for the vote. I gotta get my poll going here. 1 for curious, 2 for not curious. Our familial ties have been pretty good. And, you know, I think that Papa Zerf and Mama Jax would be, you know, willing to let our kids make up their own mind about things. Our parents did that for us. And so, who are we not to continue that tradition of open-mindedness? I wonder if it's going to talk about actual religions or if it's just going to be like, yeah, hey, it's different. Let's check the results. And it looks like we're curious about this. But are we going to curiously confront them? Or are we going to curiously not confront them? I mean, talking to them is not really confronting them, right? It's a conversation. I feel like as long as you don't come off as a big jerk, the conversation can be very beneficial both ways. It's when people try to act like their ideas are the only ideas that count that you really start running into trouble. The poll has ended and the votes, they are in. We will be talking to them about it. I was around in the 90s and most families weren't that crazy about things unless you were living further south. Your desire to question the meaning of religion, faith, and some of life's larger and more philosophical questions is admirable. This kind of independent thinking stimulates the mind and fuels divergent thought. Your parents accept your right to your views, but strongly disagree. You feel that their arguments are weak compared to yours. They seem to accept more things on faith. You want reasons. The discussion seems futile until you realize that perhaps the most important aspect about it is their acceptance of you and their secret pride in the knowledge that you're a bright, free-thinking person. There you go. Good familial ties lead to your parents not being mean to you. You are annoyed because your dad doesn't seem to be paying attention to what you say these days. You would appreciate it if he would treat you more like a person while you were trying to explain things to him. He begins correcting your grammar. Grammar Nazi Papa Zerf over here. How do you feel about this? Are you angry or assertive? Either way, there's going to be a confrontation. Votes going both ways so far. I mean, it's it's really hard if your dad's poking the bear and you just get angry. He's poking the bear. You're gonna give him what he wants. Look at this. She's blowing her top again. Oh, Zerfina, she can't keep it together. So I do think assertive is going to be the best way to get what you want in this situation, depending on what you want. The poll has ended. And the winner is option 2. So, are we going to whine and say, "See, I can't believe it, you're doing it again"? Or are we going to say, "You know, Dad, this is a perfect example. I'm trying to express myself, and you are getting on my case because of my English"? Doesn't he know that English changes? I mean, every generation's English is a little different from that of the last generation. For example, I really can't stand it when people say on accident. It's by accident. You do something by accident or on purpose. But it is becoming grammatically correct to say on accident. But when I was a kid, it was really only people that didn't speak very good English that would say on accident. Yeah, 420 YOLO swag is now proper English in some areas. It's true. Absolutely true. The winner is option 2. Let's go. Let's see how Dad reacts. Your dad is taken aback by your assertiveness and is forced to examine his own behavior. He realizes that he's been unfair to you and apologizes. The two of you gain mutual respect for one another. There you go. All right, it's time for you to do some jobby jobs. How will our vocational things go? In your own opinion, you have been doing a good job at work. Your boss, however, constantly complains about the pickiest things. He never tells you when you have done a good job. When you do something wrong, he really lets you have it. Even when you foul something up even when you follow up on something easily correctable. To make matters worse, most of his mistakes you make are his fault. He has called you into his office for a discussion. This usually means you are going to get yelled at for something. Sometimes you think that having an affair with the office manager and being married to his own nagging wife is driving him straight to the funny farm. How do you feel? So, there's 3 options here. And a little bit of advice for dealing with bosses is often you really can't get something good by sticking up for yourself, especially if they're already angry. Anger is the best emotion. I mean, you can be angry and stick up for yourself, but if you yell at your boss and they're in a bad mood, you might not have a job for very long. Especially back in the day. There's more worker rights now than there used to be in some places. In other places, there aren't. In Canada, it's not too bad, but there are some states where literally they're at will employment, and it doesn't matter. They can do whatever the heck they want. But let's check the results here. There's a 3-way tie, and RoboZerf will be randomly picking option 1. We are angry. But here's your choice here. Are we going to just listen quietly in an angry fashion, or are we going to stick up for ourselves? You can seethe on the inside. It's okay sometimes. You take those emotions, you push them down, Then when you get home, you pour a little alcohol on top, and they go away. That's not Papa Zerf's actual advice. Don't do that. But sometimes you listen quietly and get your revenge later. A dish best served cold. Right now, we're a law assistant. Perhaps if we become a lawyer one day, we'll find a way of crushing his firm and taking them over. I mean, that's how all the law dramas work, right? They're always trying to just, oh no, someone's going to take over the firm. Watch out. Someone else is trying to take over the firm. The winner is option 1 with 2 votes. We're going to listen quietly, very angrily. Your anger causes you to resent working and your boss even more than you do now. Don't you know that you're not supposed to have your life made miserable by work for a few more years yet? Your reaction only fosters depression, so we become a little less happy, it seems. All right. I'm going to go ahead and force you guys to do this little path here because we haven't had many of these work interactions. F this S, I'm out of here. You notice someone stealing extremely large amounts of valuable property from work. How do you feel about this? Yes, it's a zertatorship right now. So, poll start 2. Are we concerned or unconcerned? I mean, do we tell the boss? He's a pile of crap. Adds another box of stolen pens to the pile. Yeah. Do we confront them ourselves? Try to stop them? Maybe we'll get promoted for being so concernful about what's going on at work. Maybe it's Lethal Feline doing all the stealing in the first place. The poll has ended. Let's go ahead and check the results. We are concerned. So how are we going to handle this concern? We're going to, number 1, tell them to stop. Number 2, tell the boss. Or number 3, do nothing. As you're voting, remember what our boss was like. He blames everyone else for the problems. And he's a bit of a jerk. Who knows? Maybe he's in on it and doesn't want any witnesses. Oh, but maybe we'll get free pens and free promotions. You're absolutely right. And I mean, it is theft. It should be taken a little more seriously, I suppose, than just somebody slacking off. You know, often they say at work that when you have a problem with somebody, you should talk to them first. And if that doesn't work, then you should go after to the boss. But we're going to go right to the boss right away. The boss asks if she can prove what you were saying. Since you have no pictures or direct evidence, he tells you there's nothing I can do. This is one of those times where you think the whole world is just completely insane. Sometimes it just about is. Interesting, but stupid. All right, some more social things going down. Paul is one of your best friends. You've grown up together. The two of you used to take baths in the same tub when you were babies. And you've seen a lot of each other and have hung around together. You've never gone out together, but maybe it's just better that way. No complications. He's going out with a girl who treats him terribly. Total bish. Swish, swish, bish. One night, when you and a date, and Paul and his date, go out to the movies, Paul's date gets really sick. She doesn't really look that sick, but she's just feeling like giving everyone a hard time because she has a headache. Since she happens to live really close to your date's house, you practically live practically right next door to Paul, and all 4 of you are exhausted. It might be a good idea if you and Paul go home together, and Paul's bitchy date and your date drive home together. How are you feeling? Are you feeling sorry for Paul, or are you feeling not sorry for Paul? Go ahead and place your vote right now. Just making sure Lucky's not behind me before I push my chair out and do a little stretch real quick. Ooh. There we go. You've dealt with this stuff before, it sucks. But it seems that everybody is still feeling sorry for Paul, no matter how much it sucks. So, we feel bad for Paul, but how are we going to handle this? Are we going to... Oh, there are only 2 options, really. Are we going to have your date drive Paul's date home, or encourage everyone to go home with whoever they came with? Yep. Yeah, this is our chance to sort of... Whoever our date is, kick him to the curb. It's probably Frank, that crappy guy that just wanted to bring us to the mountains on our first date. And you know what? You don't want him to deal with her nagging in his ear the whole way home, talking it up dumb. Oh, it's not time for results yet. My bad. It probably is now, though. There we go. I feel like she talks like a valley girl. Could be. She could be that type of person. Let's check the results. Option 1 with 3 of the votes have your date drive Paul's date home. You and Paul have a real heart-to-heart talk. During the talk, you confess to being suckered into a relationship. Well, he confesses to being suckered into relationships with women who treat him like dirt. The two of you collapse on a chair together and continue talking. Your shoulders are pressing against each other. Paul sighs and mentions, you know, the only girl I've ever been able to feel comfortable with is you. I don't understand why I can't find someone who is as pretty, smart, intelligent, and lovable. You must be one of a kind. Say, jokingly, that's because I am one of a kind, silly. Now get out of here and get some sleep. Or turn around and give him a gentle kiss on the cheek. Childhood friend route unlocked. It could be. Hey, Xanthium, how's it going? You're just in time to vote on this poll. Type in 1 in chat if you want to jokingly tell him he's silly and get out of here. Or press 2 if you want to give him a kiss on the cheek. And maybe start a romance with your BFF forever that's also a guy. Votes are coming in. And just as a reminder to anybody new to the stream, you can whisper. Oh, and thanks for the host. You can whisper to RoboZerf, and he will count your vote anyways while keeping it secret from chat. The poll has come to an end. Why is this game so anime? Maybe the animes drew their influence from this game. It is pretty old. There's option 2 with 2 votes. Xanthium actually broke the tie there. So we turn around and give him a gentle kiss on the cheek. And I turn around and have a gentle sneeze. Maybe it wasn't so gentle. For a moment you think you see a tear well up in Paul's eye. He leans towards you and gives you a kiss. I don't use the mixer polls because they take forever to set up because you have to use them every single time. Like, you have to fill out the poll every single time. It has to have a question that's more than 5 characters. And then you have to put in all your buttons, and it doesn't save the old ones. So this way, we can do it quick. Boom, boom, boom. And also, I'm trying to learn programming a bit, and it was a bit of a good exercise for that. So do we tell him this is not right? But, I mean, if it's wrong, I don't want to be right. Do we tell him it's not right, or do we kiss him back? Jeez, this is a confusing time in young Zerfina's life. If you haven't seen the last 2 episodes, Zerfina is my fictional... I'm having an actual daughter soon, due in October. And Zerfina is my fictional virtual daughter to get a little practice in. So I'm not making any of the votes. I'm not voting in these votes. But I am trying to influence chat with my fatherly advice. Do you know what? I'm pretty sure I am followed. Let me check my network. Followed channels. Oh man, I got quite a few follows here. I'm doing. Yeah, I got you followed. Oh, you got a legendary and everything. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, it sucks when the VODs don't save. And actually, I had to download my VOD for this one today because it was about to expire from 2 weeks ago. All right, let's check the result though here. Results. Winner is option 2. We're going to kiss him back. Ooh. Blossoming young romance is happening. Yeah, hopefully you don't have that happen too often. I've only had it happen, I think, once in all my VODs, but it is unfortunate. They have been having quite a few hiccups this weekend, so that no doubt had something to do with it. He gives you a long, slow, and sensuous kiss. In that kiss, there are years of admiration and devotion. You realize that you must have had a crush on him too. That night when you try to sleep, you think of how it might be with Paul as your boyfriend. Is he thinking the same things too? Paul's sitting in his bed thinking to himself. Oh, yeah, no, I don't have a Discord bot going, actually. RoboZerf doesn't do a whole lot anymore, other than the polls for right now, because I didn't want to have 2 bots running off the same user. So Paul is sitting there in his bed thinking, What would it be like to have Paul as a boyfriend? I'd be the best boyfriend for myself. The next day he calls you and apologizes for getting out of hand. He says he doesn't think things could work. Oh, Paul, come on. Paul. What a dingus. Actually, I don't use Scorpbot. I programmed this one myself in Python, but I can... I should make a note. I got 2 things I got to remember to do after the stream. It does work in conjunction with other bots. It's just that if the 2 bots try to talk at the same time, the Beam says, hey, you're talking too fast. We're not letting one of your chats through. So it uses mainly the... we'll start up this next loading sequence as it happens. It uses mainly the chat bot that is the example chat bot, but I just added a few extra if statements to it that make it so that it'll let you do this. Oh, and thank you for tweeting out the stream as well. That's very nice. We're winding down close to the end of it now, though, because we're almost at the end of this part of Zerfina's life, but I really do appreciate that. And I also have to remember to reply to somebody about a ship name. All right, your parents have gone out for the night, and you and 2 friends are sitting around with not much to do. One of your friends asks, "What kind of booze do your parents have in the house?" What do we decide to do? Are we bored / ready to experiment, anxious or calm? Go ahead and place your votes in chat now. Hopefully within the next couple months. Yeah, the rents have the good stuff. Hopefully we remember to fill it back up with a little bit of water just so we don't get caught right away. Although if you water down Dad's scotch, he's going to know. I'm hoping in the next couple months to try to get this set up so that it will use the buttons instead. I can just set up a scene with 1 to 9 buttons. Different scene and load the right scene based on what I say in chat. Or, do you know what? You can actually probably have a 10th scene and actually just control it, because it's weird. The scenes actually have things now where they're like, which person, what does the people see? If you're the owner, you get to see this. If you don't. And I do make my pixel art, actually. I dabble in pixel art. I want to get into it a little more, but... ooh, three-way tie. RoboZerf's going to break that tie. Option 2, we're anxious. All right, are we going to anxiously raid the liquor cabinet or suggest something else to do? Yeah, I've even thought about maybe streaming doing some pixel art stuff, but I get so busy that I got all my gameplay stuff I want to do too and everything, so we'll just have to see how things go. I'm trying to get some videos in the bank from YouTube as well, so that when times start getting super busy with a child, I don't necessarily disappear off the face of the earth. Yes, I always find it more fun to have a custom bot name. Okay, so let's peep the results. There's another tie. So this is all RoboZerf's doing. And he suggests we do something else. RoboZerf is a bit of a stick in the mud. You're afraid of getting caught. Your friends become bored at your house and leave early. All right, so there is... we're really going to run out of time soon. I wonder, what does this say? How old are we? Lifetime, 18 years and 8 months. So we probably have 4 button presses left. So, do you guys want to do the side path? 1, straight up and down, follow the job path next. Or 2, go to the social thing and then the family thing.
You're pretty good.
Hey, RoboZant. You're pretty good. I take it that's your bot. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some pretty interesting bot names out there. Oh, it looks like there's a split. There's another tie. One more vote will be a tiebreaker as to what to do. Or I'll leave it up to RoboZerf. He does an okay job sometimes, I guess. He took the most boring path last time. Here we go. The poll is over. Terminator Mark II. That's not bad. Winner is option 2 with 2 of the votes. Okay, so we are going to go to this social aspect and see what happens to poor Zerfina. A group of friends are getting together for a toga party this Friday. Toga 2000. Are we excited or not interested in this toga party? And I'm just going to base the next answer based on your vote, because this is one of those things where the game will just yell at you. You can't be that excited if you chose to stay home, and then it might just kick you out without doing anything to your stats, which isn't a very fun way of doing things. But so far, it looks like everybody's very excited about this party. Welcome back. We had a visit from a robotic version of you a few moments ago. All right, let's peep the results here. Yeah, it's just like Pokeroo. You missed him again. All right, so everybody's voting for being excited, and we're going to go to the party. Yeah, I've seen that it's kicking people out of chat on and off every once in a while. You arrive at the party, stunningly draped in one of your mom's best sheets. On the table, there is beer, wine, and hard liquor. Someone mentions there being drugs available for sale from a person at the other end of the room. Which would you prefer to have? Beer or wine, hard liquor, drugs, or nothing? All right, guys, take good care of Zerfina. Remember, you should be smart when you're out at a party, and if you're not smart, you should at least be safe. Yeah, that happened to somebody else. We had a friend, effing controller. He was trying to do a stream earlier today too, and he just couldn't get it. Couldn't handle it. It made it very annoying for him. He ended up going to clean his house instead. Lethal Feline doesn't want any surprise pregnancies from drinking too much and waking up the next day with regrets. He wants no regrets. So option 4, nothing. You know, you can have fun. How wild would you like to get at this party? Ooh. On a scale from 1 to 4, how wild would you like to get on this party? Now, the interesting thing is, there's not wild, but you can be mildly wild. Wild, extremely wild, or maniacal, which isn't even technically a type of wild. But so far, people are looking to go to the extreme and rock the mic like a vandal. Extremely wild. 3 has got to involve penises. Jeez. You can only imagine what 4 is. Well, let's check the results. You're going to do more than imagine, Lethal. Are you planning on trying to meet any guys at this party? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Are you trying to meet any guys? Yeah, maybe we're not feeling... Maybe Zerfina's not feeling the greatest after Paul's letdown. You know, you open up to him. You realize that you're such a great match. And then he just calls you and says, too bad. You know, that's not really that fun. Polls ended. Let's check the results. Were there any secret votes happening? Oh, not this time. The winner with 2 votes is yes. For some reason, you become very uninhibited. You meet a guy, you meet a similarly uninhibited guy, and have an utterly uninhibited time. The 2 of you fall asleep in the guy's car. It's true, but then sometimes... Well, not much happened from it. Probably because you didn't get too drunk. Sounds like surprise pregnancies. Well, we'll find out later, I suppose. Relationships can ruin friendships, but I will say this. Jack Soares and I knew each other for 10 years before we even started dating. It took us that long to kind of piece together the fact that we were a power couple. And now we rock the scene. Your dad's boss thinks that you are a fine young woman. He would be honored if you would consider attending the company dinner with his son, Matt. How do you feel about this? I can't remember what Matt's actually like. Are you suspicious, interested, or uninterested? 1, 2, or 3? Oh, he's rich. He's your dad's boss. Yeah. He might not actually be rich. I mean, I don't know where Papa Zerf works in this reality.
I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash. I
looking for the
love
cash.
gold, and I'll give you cash because I'm the cash man. I'll give you money for your gold. Oh yeah.
Man, I feel like more and more people don't actually know what that's from. But if you've seen Bobo's stream of, or Bobo and Mai's stream of Uncharted Waters New Horizons, you know all about the Cash Man. So the winner is option 2. We're interested. So we're going to accept the invitation, make an excuse, or tell him that you'll get back to him. I mean, there's no harm in waiting, right? Yeah, I think Bobo's been posting the Uncharted Water stuff all to his channel. Although the Ali Vizaz's story is very long. Surprisingly long, actually. You'd think that the trading route would be one of the shorter ones, but even when you beeline for the story after you've got enough trading experience, it really just it bogs down a bit. I'm not really selling the Let's Play. It's pretty interesting though, and I'm sure you can tell which ones are worth watching at 2 times speed, I guess. All right, the winner is option 1. We're accepting the invitation. Let's find out about Matt. This is a very open-minded set of choices. You arrive at the country club, waiting to meet Dad's boss's son. All of a sudden, this movie star walks up to you. Your eyes glaze and your mouth gets dry, and you must concentrate very hard to prevent your tongue from dropping out of your mouth. Could this be Matt? I bet you it's not. Nope. It's some guy who works there parking cars. Matt arrives complete with braces, freckles, and a squeaky laugh. As the night goes on, you find out he's not so bad. Dad gets a raise the following week. Now about the company picnic next month. Fun times. All right, we've only got 5 options left here. Zerfina likes him like a little brother. Aw. While you are shopping in town one day, a woman who introduces herself as a photographer tells you that you are very beautiful and that she might be able to get some modeling work for you. She gives you her card. How do you feel about this? Now, hopefully I've raised my daughter to be very suspicious of these styles of traps. We didn't fall for the artist one. I don't think you guys will fall for the photographer. The last time a photographer found a model in the street and didn't turn out to be some sort of porn styles was, I mean, it happens, I guess, if you live in New York, but not in this rural area. And I can tell. We would see her in Playboy July. Very true. What's this couch for? Let's check the results here. And yes, winner is option 2. And I'd imagine that you're not going to uninterestingly visit the woman in the studio, but I'll give you the chance to vote either way as we're winding down here. I've got a... Yeah, the Zerfina democracy. Most of the time, I don't override it. I try to be good about that. Oh, that is a new follower on Twitter, I believe. Jeez, I don't even know what my own light change colors mean. The poll has ended. Let's peep those results. The winner is option 2. Uninterested. I guess you feel a life of fame, fortune, and stardom is not for you. Oh, the game's not even letting on with the whole... Oh, see, and now we're out of time. There you go. Yeah, there you go, Xanthium. So that bluish light means somebody followed on Twitter. You have just passed through adolescence. So we just finished this section of the game. Family life can be rough during adolescence. Even though your family expects you to take charge of your life, no one wants to let you have the freedom that you want. Is it God? Have I found God? Judging by your progress through life so far, your family life has been quite good. All things considered, family members can be pains, but no one seems to mind it when you overhaul your hair for 3 hours every morning in the bathroom. Physically, you have been a healthy young woman, accepting and being comfortable with the changes, with changes in the way your body looks may be a little bit of a concern to you during this phase, but you seem strong physically. You got good shoulders. Socially, this phase of life does present its share of problems. Most of these problems fall into the category of boys. Life must have been pretty simple before they showed up. Your social adjustment has been... except for your brother who uses the bathroom for other purposes. Remarkable. Although you don't have a steady boyfriend at the present time, there's always the next life phase. Yeah, don't end up a spinster. Now regarding your emotional development. You are a remarkably trustworthy young woman. This trait is bound to take you far, emotionally and vocationally. You are developing into the type of adult that people can confide in. Unfortunately, the burden that comes along with this characteristic is the tendency for people to tell you their problems. You become the strong shoulder that everyone cries on. A positive aspect of your adolescence is your ability to resist temptation and not give in to impulses. Since adolescence is a time for testing limits, this can get some people into some pretty dangerous situations. However, leading an excessively sheltered life can be boring. You seem to be enjoying most of what you do. Even though you experience the blues every once in a while, it's nice to see that you're not having a depressing, traumatizing life. This is Alter Ego. We're just wrapping up the adolescence phase and getting a little recap of how little Zerfina has been risen by chat. Chat's been making all the decisions, not me. And anything that's wrong with her is their fault. Even though an occasional explosive outburst is common in most adolescents, you seem to have everything well under control. You seem to be sensitive and gentle. We were not that in the last phase. We went from a 30 to a 60, I think. Maybe a 70. We'll find out soon enough. You certainly have a good head on your shoulders. You are not only book smart, but also have plenty of common sense. And we did give in to being maniacal that once, so we're not super boring. You're absolutely right, Lethal. Now that your adolescence is almost over, it's time to get hurled out there into the abyss of the real world. I'll bet you didn't know that everything you did up until now was the fake part of the fake world. Yes, every once in a while, Daddy steps in and says, "Nope, you're not making this decision." So let's display our stats before we go. See how well we did here. So we're 19. Legal drinking age in Canada, however, still illegal probably. This game takes place in the States, I bet. We are a law assistant. Our relationship status is single. You know, we haven't spent much money, so we probably have quite a bit of stuff. Our calmness is dropped back down to 36. Our confidence is still cranked out at 99, maxed out. Expressiveness is 90, pretty high up. Familial ties are 85. We're a gentle person now. It's in the 80s. It used to be in the 30s. Happiness is a 77. See, and it used to be 18 for everyone in Canada. Because in the 70s, so when my dad was a teenager in the 70s, it dropped down to 18 because they argued if you're old enough to die for your country, you should be old enough to have a beer before you go. But they also couldn't be like, but only if you're in the military are you able to drink at 18. So they did it for everybody. And then they turned it back to 19 for whatever reason. So our intelligence is 96. Still way up there. Our physical is 59, which is better than it was, but not the best. 97 social. Although I imagine if you had 99 physical as a woman, you might have a hard time attracting certain types of men. Thoughtfulness is very high. Trustworthiness and vocation is still 50-50. We have at age 19, 11,710 late 1980s dollars. I guess it's the 90s now. But no acquisitions. We got that paper. Good job. So, let's go ahead and save this state. Save snapshot image. And we'll just call this one Mad Paper. And we are on disk 2A, so that I remember next time to load the right disk into my C64 before we start this up. Save that up? Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Not, well, at least all in one place. And I see that Queen of Art is playing some 7 Days to Die. And I've not watched this game yet, but I do enjoy Queen of Art's streams. So, if you are so inclined to stay up even later and looking for something to watch, head on over to Queen of Art's channel. And, I mean, if you want to, add in a Zerf raid. And, you know, throw in an emoji. I'm partial to sloths and beams. But if you're not so inclined, just go ahead and go to bed. It's late at night. And I will begin hosting Queen of Art as soon as I stop this stream. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for coming out. And have an excellent evening. We'll see you in the next stream.